Alright, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 4, Losers Bracket Round 1 between DareDevinX and Zoopal. On commentary today we have Joe Dyson and Thoshost. How are you two doing?
Doing well. Yeah.
Should be an exciting matchup today. We got our number 13 seed Zoopal against DareDevinX, number 29. I believe repping France on Zoopal's side and Germany on DareDevin's.
That would be correct. We have a Sunsong start with a Sapphire. Apologies for the late start, chat. We had some tech problems, including a fire alarm on my side. So it's been fun, but they should be starting shortly here.
And that Sunsong is going to be, it helps you out early. I think both of our runners would like to get a better song earlier, but having access to any time of day you'd like really help. As we're kicking off with Adult Spawn right outside of Hyrule Market.
Yeah, that puts a lot lower priority onto Prelude, and making transitions to Child a little bit easier and less disgusting.
Right, well, as our runners are making their way into Quackarico Village right here. Pretty standard adult start. We're gonna check out all these items. What kind of songs do you think we're gonna see? What kind of seed do we got here, Joe?
We got an early Sun Song, so there's gonna be no skulls required. A very nice start, so it's just gonna be at the pretty much a vanilla start for adult. So almost never going to need to change age. Let's see, how much worse could this get? We're never going to see ZL until... It's just going to be a disaster. I'm calling it now.
I'm always a little optimistic as we get an early strength upgrade in Kakariko Grotto there.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That makes it so that you're right here doing Dodongo is mostly clearable.
Which a lot of times, if you just have a strength upgrade, sometimes there is a bomb bag sitting right behind that in Dodongo's cavern. Which another interesting thing for this run is when are our runners going to go their separate paths? Right now, they're just on top of each other, moving from check to check. But eventually, they are going to split off as we do get Minuet of Forest on the Windmill song. That will let us instantly teleport right outside the Forest Temple and get us a free song as both an adult and a child.
Yeah, I think the main difference is going to be when they play Minuet. That's probably going to be the deciding factor. I could definitely see one of them playing Minuet early while the other one makes a Dodongo play just to get some early checks in and check in the Deathbound Trail. But up until now, with this type of start, you're going to see the Dompe play, you're going to pull the Sunsong and the Hylian Shield Grave. Everything's just pointing you to that at this point.
Right. It looks like we're going to see pretty standard opening. As we're going to see maybe soon. We got a couple graves, then we'll get the good old Dompe race everybody loves. Is that magic?
That's magic up on the TARDIS crate. So
magic is going to be one of our required items. Now there are 2 magics in the game. That will likely be one we grab. It'd be a little concerned unless we find one like right here. Our runners are going to prioritize that.
Yes,
we'll prioritize it at some point. It's not a rush to get it, but you're gonna.
You're always hoping for an early Ferrar's win though, so grabbing magic when you can is usually nice. But that one's currently either bomb or long shot locked, so. It's hard to pressure that.
Knight on Zoopal's screen. He's chucking those fires. Sometimes he likes to throw them out of your way. Other times, I swear, he's a sniper flying around. Just turn that corner, boom, fire right in your face.
I think Zoopal still has a good time. He should make it before the 1 minute mark. Might be a little tight, but no, he's plenty time.
A smooth 53 seconds. And as we'll get these 2 items.
And there's the Ferrar's window I was talking about. Okay.
All right. It's nice for the runners to just line that up for us. Like, we're totally not looking at the spoiler log.
Come on, Zoopal, you can get it. There you go.
So what that Frore's Wind is going to let us, with that magic, sort of leave a mark in a dungeon that we can teleport to later. This really opens up our potential routing options as our runners are looking to check in one way the most checks they can in a limited amount of time, and both do what they need to do to beat the seed. Which in these settings is they need to get all 6 medallions there. There are 6 medallions, 3 stones. Of course, they wouldn't start with a stone or start with a medallion. That'd be too nice. So we're giving them, they need to get all 6 medallions. That will let them get the boss key to Ganon. However, just 2 medallions, you get to go in Ganon's house and look around, steal some of his jewelry, his pottery, whatever he's got in there.
Now, that's not all, though, because we're also going to need the light arrows to actually deal damage to Ganondorf. So those are another main thing we have to do. We're going to get hints for Way of the Hero from the Gossip Stones. They'll help us out, but they won't point to the light arrows. You're going to need all the medallions to figure out where those are if you don't find them on your way.
Mm-hmm. So what is a Way of the Hero hint, I guess, for any new people in here?
Okay, so since this is a randomizer, all the items are shuffled, and progression to finish the game. Well, there's our first Way of the Hero hint. That is the second frog song being a piece of heart, meaning it's not required. A Way of the Hero hint is kind of the logic chain that that the generator makes to figure out how to beat the game. If you get a location that says that something is on the Way of the Hero, Stinger's piece of heart. Okay, so that's 1 check less in Jabu.
Mm-hmm.
And Goron City, a foolish choice. A Way of the Hero will eventually will have at least 1 item needed to progress through the game in the logic chain.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we found a strength upgrade in Kakariko Village. If we found a Way of the Hero hint for Kakariko Village, that strength upgrade may lead us saying that we need this strength upgrade to get access to a bomb bag. There's the light arrows in Mido's house, just sitting there.
Mido's prepping up to take down Ganon himself, but we'll take it from here, Mido. As conversely, so your Way of the Hero hints are going to point you in the direction of items you need. We know Gerudo Training Grounds we saw as one of those hints as well. A foolish hint means there's nothing you need there. So Goron City is foolish. Doing any checks in Goron City is going to be a waste of time unless you're, opening up your path to Death Mountain Crater or something. As we get another song in Saria's song, which is gonna, it's not nothing, but
it's
I guess
2 checks, and it technically opens up. It would have opened up Sacred Forest Meadow if we didn't have Minuet already.
True, and we know one of those checks is in Goron City is foolish, so it's nice to at least have it before you go through Lost Woods again as a kid. Which, speaking of being a kid, Zoopal is going back to the Temple of Time, gonna turn into a kid for a little bit. As when you're an adult, you kind of hit out Kakariko, maybe check a couple song locations, and then unless you get anything, there's not much to do. They could start Dodongo's Cavern, but Zoopal is gonna hit up some links. So Ocarina of Time is Zelda's Lullaby.
So depending on the dungeons we have, this is gonna be a hard AD. Let's see what the pedestal says.
Zelda's Lullaby, one of the most useful songs, also is going to be blocked behind getting all 3 sacred stones, which are medallion dungeons, are the Deku Tree, Spirit Temple, Water Temple, Shadow Temple, Jabu Jabu's Belly. So with
Shadow, it is hard required. We cannot get past the ferry boat without ZL. We are in an all-dungeon seed, everyone.
At least they found out early. At this point, if you can do a dungeon, they're going to go do a dungeon. We also know Zora's Domain is foolish, which means, especially for kid routing, if, say, you're in an instance where you get the bottle, but you don't have the, or maybe you don't have a letter in the bottle to open up access to Zora's Domain, or Zora's Fountain, we're really not going to see that location until we do, which, we are going to need the boomerang this seed. Boomerang loves to hide around, can be a hard to find item, along with long shot. We need pretty much every item this seed.
Yeah, everything's going to be right. Oh, we got a raid from ZeldaSpeedRuns 4. 16 people joining in. For an AD randomizer for OoT today.
So what do you think here, Joe? You know you have to do all dungeons. Do you start playing a little more conservatively, knowing I'm going to need most items to beat this? If I miss one little thing, that could set me back a while? Or how do you think our runners might play this?
The way I would look at it would be, I'm still kind of a little surprised that both of them went child after finding out that this is going to be an AD seed. You kind of want to get over with dungeons. You know that Dodongo is not going to be a waste of time, which is so much easier and nicer to clear as an adult. But
which sounds backwards to somebody not familiar, who you played this game as a kid. You're like, oh yeah, Dodongos. You do that as a kid, right? Yeah, it's a kid dungeon. No, in Randomizer, it's an adult dungeon.
It's completely open to adults. There's actually some Skulltula tokens in Dodongo that are only accessible by an adult. And being tall is very nice. It lets you do a couple of extra jumps, skip entire sections of the dungeon. I can understand this, though. Going child isn't terrible. There's some easy hints, easy checks. You have Sun Song, which opens up another check into Castletown.
So and those hints are going to be big. We know where. Oh, speaking of being big, there's our bomb bag.
I could see Zoopal going right back to being an adult at this point. Yeah. Like, just get this hint here and then go right back to being an adult and clearing that out.
So we have our Way of the Hero hints we talked about. We have our Foolish hints. There are also items on 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 Skulltulas. We are guaranteed that somewhere in the world there is a hint for 30, 40, and 50 Skulltulas. Which, if there's something big like a hook shot on those, which again, every time I say something big, there's a bow in Bombshoe Bowling. We could see, you get that, then you're just a hook shot away from being able to do Forest Temple. So this is an all dungeon seed, but maybe we're gonna get, maybe we could still get a pretty linear, pretty fast seed to go.
Yeah, so far things have been pretty nice. I called it before. We already know the 30 and 50 are dead. We don't know about 40 skulls, though. So,
gotcha. As we'll take that bow, turning in the dog on Zoopal's side, get you some money, which is a fitting reward. I mean, 50 rupees is a lot of money, but
it's gonna pay for getting the bow.
Oh yeah.
No. What is this?
My God.
What is this?
So this is we're gonna be able to clear out Dodongos. We're gonna be able to clear out Forest pretty quickly here. If we get now is when we're gonna get the Forest market is on the Way of the Hero, and we know.
Absolutely.
But now it's good just in case.
Triple Way of the Hero market. I would not be surprised if we got a double hint for this. So we having 4 stones total pointing this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so unlikely that all this is just laying right out.
I wish my local, your little fairs, your little, festivals had great rewards like this. Like, yeah, we'll give you a hook shot if you can, knock down these bottles with a baseball or whatever you need to do.
I'll give you some explosives if you can shoot this stuff with a slingshot. That seems actually very irresponsible now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, how old is Link right now? He's like 10 years old.
Yeah, you're 10 or 12. It's fine.
So, Daredevin is not jumping in dungeons yet. I think we see him backing up. He's going to do another song check here on Lon. And I wouldn't be surprised if the CR runners grab that magic before becoming an adult, giving you access to the Furor's Wind.
You have the explosives. It's important to get. You're going to need to get it eventually, so I could definitely see that. But Devin's doing the song check and the Lon Ranch checks, which are only available as a child. So getting those songs are super important. You need Nocturne to get into the Shadow Temple. Getting Requiem to get across the desert without actually having to run that. All those are very important in this race, and especially in an AD seed. So prioritizing songs is definitely an understandable and smart play.
Looking for those Cuckoos, finding all of them. Fun fact on the Cuckoo game there: if a little Navi indicator appears next to, as we get another bow, okay. If you get the little Navi indicator next to one of those chickens, like lighting them up, that means you've already grabbed that chicken. So usually in the Cuckoos game, even when you lose track of all of them, you can still just grab all the ones you haven't. So we're 2 bows in. We're gonna get another song here. I don't know what to expect of this seed. We're gonna probably have a lot. We're probably gonna be pretty active for a while here.
There's Nocturne. Okay, speak of the devil.
Speaking them into existence right here.
Hey, everything I seem to mention seems to show up. So what do these guys need? They need a Din's Fire, which is going to be in the back right over here, right? It's going to be with the cows chilling in that chicken's nest.
I mean, why wouldn't it? I think it's the only place it could be. As we might see, also curious to see when we're going to get a save and quit out of either of our players here, which will let us know where our kid spawns in, which is almost like a free warp song. It takes a little bit longer, but it works into that routing pretty well, as we have
just a heart container.
Which our runners, they only got 3 hearts. They don't need any more to beat this game. They're pretty great. Zoopal's got a little more, but
well, you know it's an AD seed. You know that you have to do fire. I would have probably, I could see a runner picking that up. Like if Zoopal checks that and sees it, I could definitely say this buys me an extra 8 seconds, and Volvagia giving me some margin of error.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe especially if you're gonna like save and quit out of that location anyway. You know, it's just a one-way trip crawling through that hole. As our runners, hi Ivan. One's going into Lon Lon, the other heading out.
So it's important to point out that there are actually no dungeons that our runners can do as a child currently, where Jabu is locked behind the Rudo's letter, as is in the normal game, but also in the same settings of the normal game, you can't get into a Deku Tree without the Kokiri sword, which we do not have at this point in time. So the only dungeon plays available are for adults at this point. Well, technically there is Child Dodongo, but that is it just takes so much longer to do.
Mm-hmm. There are very, very few circumstances you'll do it as a kid, especially since our runners have both Bolero and Nocturne, for moving around quickly. So we do have Daredevin. Looks like Daredevin's headed over to Zora's River. We're going to pick up some beans, get some item checks, maybe a couple more hints. And I think after this, the main difference right now in our routing is Zoopal did check a couple more locations in Hyrule Field that we'll probably see Daredevin get to eventually anyway.
Yeah, routing Hyrule Field is always an interesting thing to notice, just because who puts the priority on what grottos when.
Mm-hmm.
So they're usually on the path to other objectives. You can see, especially with the location of the adult spawn, that is on the way. The ones that Zoopal checked are on the way to Gerudo Valley. So if there's a chance that there is a Gerudo Valley play as adults for Gerudo Trading Ground or anything like that, I could see Devin checking those in that path.
Mm-hmm. As Zoopal picks up Prelude to Light at the Saria Song location, which is always a handy one to have, especially if you are switching between adult and child, which I believe you predicted kind of early that we're going to get that song pretty quick, given our adult spawn location.
Good spot.
Under Icy Waters is nothing, which is just a good little peace of mind.
You already know, though, that we still need the Iron Boots, but that puts less focus on Zora's Domain.
Mm-hmm. As we know, the domain itself is nothing. That's another check in the fountain. That's nothing.
Now, are we going to be true AD? Are we going to need Ice Cavern?
There's our Goron tunic. Daredevin routing in that right time of day to get to go see Dampy or Dampe, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know if you've ever gotten this, Joe. You know when you play a game when you're a kid, you don't really know how to read or pronounce words right, and there's not dialogue, there's not spoken words, so you just read something, you just say that's how that word's said, and you just go with it for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, of course, just how it is.
So still no dungeon plays yet. As that dog, just not a big fan of Daredevin.
Just not following him at all.
I haven't seen that. Richard just sat down and said, no, tugging on the leash, I'm not going any further.
Dogs are usually pretty magnetic too.
Yeah, that's as there are those iron boots that Zoopal found in the Lost Woods there.
The water's now technically open, but we don't have a long shot, so we can't full clear it.
We can do everything but Morpha in water. Well, technically, out of a couple things out of logic, well, mainly that central pillar that you're expected to have a Zora's tunic on, since, the game wants you to be able to breathe underwater.
With only 3 hearts, you can't even really do it anyway.
Yeah. So, not that our players are itching to get into Water Temple, I'd imagine, too fast. This Ocarina memory game, I'm not gonna lie, I have failed this more than I'd like to admit, especially on that fourth group.
Oh, straight 2.
Silver gauntlets.
All right, so adult spirits now opening up a little, but we have no way to get there.
Once we get there, we're just a mirror shield away from finishing it. So we are quickly assembling a good little list of items as Daredevin buying the Hylian shield. Waiting for a drop. So we will see a Hylian shield on Daredevin's screen any second now, as is the rule.
Yeah, he's going to Dodongo Cavern at this point, which I completely can get behind. It's moderately check dense. You need to clear it anyway. Just get it over with. 40 is dead, so of course. Starting with Sunsong, Skull's not needed.
Which those Skulltulas most of them are only available at night. Are there any available? No, yeah, there are some that you can get during the day. But
so there's quite a few that you can get during the day, but such as the one in Zora's River, the one in Lon Lon Ranch are always around, so you just knock them out of the tree, but most of them are only available at night.
So Daredevin teleporting to the graveyard. We're gonna probably head our way up, pick up that magic as well, letting us teleport all over the place. But with the amount of items we've gotten, who knows how much we're gonna have to use.
I'm expecting Strength 3 on the ledge above Dodongo's Cavern at this rate, because why not?
We'll get it early, but there's going to be nothing required by Strength 3. That's
absolutely not. It's going to be a complete bait.
So, 2 bows, light arrow. Yeah, so if Ganon were to just, come out, maybe going on a stroll, get out of that castle, we could fight him, but we still need 6 of those medallions. And 2 of the stones, which, you start with a stone already, so it's not the biggest pain, I guess, to get to Zelda's Lullaby, which Zelda's Lullaby is going to lock a lot of potential checks. This could be another big routing thing that could throw our runners off if there is something locked behind, like a Great Fairy Fountain, and we get Zelda's Lullaby late.
There's no way. Great Fairy Fountain has not had anything in Season 4. I can't think of a single race I've watched that a Great Fairy has paid off in any way.
Which I'd agree. As hover boots. We're a Din's Fire away from doing Shadow as well. We're flying right through the seed, everybody. I always think it's funny when the Great Fairies, they're supposed to gift Link these great magical powers. They're just like, here's $5. All right, this is what I got in savings. Go beat Ganon with it.
It works, but it's a consolation. That's a consolation prize, so it's like a bomb refill for someone that doesn't have a bomb bag. So it's like, oh, you can't hold this here's $5.
There you go. Yeah, sorry, I gave Din's Fire to the last adventure that came through. I mean, we've been having a lot of links running through this season 4, so running out of items. So we are going to see our first dungeon shortly in Dodongo's Cavern, which is going to fly by. If you've played this game casually, this dungeon will not look like what you're accustomed to. Also picking up Skulltulas to make sure we know, because we don't know, and we won't know for a bit, what's on the 10 and 20.
10 and 20 can be hinted, but are not always hints like the other, like 30, 40, and 50. What's on the ledge? I can't see it. Devin.
I couldn't see it either. That's what we got chat here for. Chat, feel free to guess whatever you want. We'll probably believe you.
Oh, on the never list. Okay.
Chat is guessing long shot last time. That's my bet. I feel like every seed I'm looking for long shot or boomerang.
I'm expecting a boomerang being the S4 item this one. Stone of Agony on the left hand. Okay.
All right, that's Stone of Agony. I'm sure our runners are going to want that. All right, right away. No, Stone of Agony is pretty much.
We could have a season where Stone of Agony required for hints. Come on, let's make it happen.
So the Stone of Agony will regularly just in the base game, if you had the Rumble pack, it just vibrate your controller if you were by one of those Bombable or Song of Storms grottos.
It actually does have the 3D remake function in the randomizer, where it will show a little icon on the bottom of the screen when you're near a grotto.
Okay. DareDevin getting that quick staircase collapse.
Always nice coming in here with bombs, so you can just do that really quick.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, what if anyway we can get other functionality? Can we have the Stone of Agony shake if you're by a chest that's worthless, got some trash in there? It's just like don't pick it up, don't pick it up, don't pick it up. But,
trash is a little subjective, though. I mean, some people might like finding Naruto's love.
Yeah, sometimes you like seeing the bigger on sword, which is all the time.
All the time, absolutely all the time. There's no occasion where I don't want to see the biggie.
It's definitely one of the crowd favorites. Lets you quick kill some of those bosses pretty quick. We're just picking up some skulls, running through Dodongo's Cavern, being a big boy, grabbing places that little Link couldn't, jumping up. Like, look at that. We don't need to climb a ladder.
Oh, look, you think you can burn my shield, you silly bat? Nope.
Jumping off, bonking the head. So also getting those hover boots early is going to let us, I don't know, you can do a little move. Your movement can be a little more precise through these dungeons, which will shave off some more seconds, which is going to be an advantage for DareDevin as long as...
Like this room requires some setups for some jumps normally, but those hover boots just let you skip some of that.
Mm-hmm. Which, unless we see Zoopal go to adult shooting where we found the hover boots, we might not see that location for a second here. After you beat the dungeon, you're put right outside of Kakariko. It's a swell time to jump in there, but we've just got so much available to us right now.
For those confused as to what happened on DareDevin's screen, oh look, he found the Hylian shield. What a waste of 80 rupees.
At least
Team never buy a shield.
He did get to do that one little bomb jump you need a shield for before jumping up there.
True. Okay, yeah, he did do that.
But, the time you spend to go buy the shield, right? It's really just not working. As we got Kobe Bryant on DareDevin's side, draining those 3-pointers, opening up Dodongo's mouth.
Anyone unfamiliar with Ocarina of Time, the little trick that you saw Devin do when he couldn't hookshot that chest was a standing bomb jump. There's a loud glitch in this setting where you can store a vertical jump by failing to pick up a bomb by blocking it with your shield as you're trying to. It gives you a little bit extra height, and unfortunately Child Link cannot make that particular jump with a standing bomb jump, which makes that adult section so much easier to skip. And Devin's farming bomb refills here, which is a nice little maneuver.
Especially early on, you run through a lot of bombs, opening up checks and such. So picking them up will save you some time, a little peace of mind in case you were to find them later. You know, one less thing to worry about. These runners are thinking at a mile a minute here, trying to figure out what the fastest way to get through the seed is. There are some glitches allowed. Usually these are just little, you know, no clipping, nothing major. We still want the items to be important. So there, and a lot of these little tricks, some of them are harder than others, but especially if this is something you're interested in, it's definitely something that maybe you're playing through a seed. You're like, hey, how do I do that bomb jump? You can just, with a quick little YouTube search, you could find a guide on how to do it, and you can pull them off, and it's incredibly rewarding being able to, like, you know, mix in all these little tricks here and there. As DareDevin doesn't care about the lava, just rolling across. As
wearing that nice powder pink Goron tunic, so he doesn't really care.
The tunic also almost matching the hearts too. It's just a little bit of a different shade, but still winning on the fashion war, if you ask.
I don't know. I mean, he had that nice baby blue before, switching to this powder pink, but purple's mad nice. I kind of like Zoopal's purple tunic right now.
The purple tunic with also the purple sword icon there. It's a close race. We're gonna see. Maybe you know, I say maybe when we get the Zora's tunic, but I don't know what the odds of our players actually equipping the Zora's tunic is here.
I'm pretty sure that everyone, well, probably the 50 or so people that played Four Swords Adventures, knows that the purple Link is the best Link, so...
Didn't catch that one myself. As DareDevin's going farther up the mountain, we got a little more to do. We do have that mysterious item we had on top of Dodongo's. That, you know, maybe it was something cool. I'm sure somebody else saw it. We also have a couple checks here. Not necessarily going into Goron City. Getting to Goron City is foolish and is going to help our runners a lot early on here. Because
there's a whole bunch of checks. But,
right, yeah, that's a place you're going as a kid, you're going as an adult, you're potentially going, like, there twice as an adult. Just getting it nice and early is nice. As we're going to see the Forest Temple play here by DareDevin.
It's progression. You have your hook shot, you have the warp there, you have your bow. You can full clear this, no problem. You're still kind of curious about 10 and 20 skulls. There's quite a bit easy to access skulls here. This is a smart play, albeit a little bit of a boring one for us. Mm-hmm. But hey,
and it will also give us our Zelda's Lullaby right after here.
Yeah, yes, it will.
As we see Zoopal not going back into Kakariko to do the adult shooting game yet. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the hover boots were on?
That was our hover boots.
Now we're doing it. We're just grabbing that Skulltula first. We're going back in there. He's just waiting for me to say it, right? As soon as I say it, he's like, all right, no, we gotta, these commentators have been speaking some things into existence so far. We're gonna put them in there. The Forest Temple, it's a little linear, it's a little bland, you know. Nothing too crazy on DareDevin's side. Although, I don't know why for all the dungeons, especially, I feel like every chest in the Forest Temple has to have this big, wonderful, like, chest appearing, magnificent animation. Whereas other chests sometimes in the game just, you know, they fall from the ceiling. They're like, that's what you get. It's whatever.
Yeah, even the ones that are already on the map still have some sort of long animation to get to them. So, like, you have the flooded river chest in the bait. That, for some reason, every time I try to use Iron Boots to pick up that chest, it doesn't want to work. And Zoopal misses, and you can see his frustration at that point.
Yeah, just shoot all those arrows out. Give me another go at it. Shooting shooting shot man. I don't know if I'm sure that character's got a lot of deep lore behind them, behind some book somewhere, right? As we're just.
I missed it before that our Child's Born was the Market Bazaar, so of course we got Prelude ultra early when both ones are in market.
There are hover boots for Zoopal. Let's see what the next play for him is. It's it is the Forest Temple as well. We'll have both players in the Forest
Double
Temple.
Forest.
I don't know what it is, but if there's a dungeon, both players are always in at the same time. It's the Forest Temple, I feel like.
Forest.
Every race I've commentated has had this, so don't blame me too much.
Oh, I'm going to.
I'll take it. If that's all the cursing I have is putting our players in the Forest Temple, I'll take it.
What have your opinions been on Season 4 so far? We're well into the brackets. This is an elimination match, but have you think that it's been a pretty good season at this rate? Anything you want to change? Anything you're...
I've been a fan. The one, it's, the randomized spawns, I think, adds a little spice to every seed, which, even if it is a thing like today, where it's like, oh, it turns out they don't matter, it is going to slow us down. I think, on average, you can correct me if I'm wrong, racing times are up. It's taking our runners a little longer to get through here. But, is that necessarily a bad thing? I think it depends on, the person, what you're doing. Having Ganon's Castle open up early, I think, can add a lot. It opens up a lot more locations items could be. But what do you think?
The big change for Ganon's Castle on 2 medallions is definitely my favorite feature of this season. It adds so much more value to early medallions, so much more dynamic checking. Also, a big change, the Kokiri sword required for Deku.
Right.
That just breaks early game routing, where it felt like every seed it was, okay, let's just do Deku and get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
Where all of a sudden, Deku could be the last dungeon you do because the Kokiri sword is being so hard locked.
Right, and I think especially, normally Deku Tree and Dodongos are open relatively early. I think sort of limiting that a little bit. I've seen some interesting takes for other tries, such as, I've seen, for example, you just have to beat 5 any dungeons is an interesting thing. I wonder if it'd be possible to maybe put in some duplicate item. Like, for instance, there's only 1 boomerang, but what if there were 3 boomerangs out there, right? Maybe it makes it a little harder to feel like, all right, I need 1 item and there's like 50 locations I can find. I could just do them by dense location, where it could feel a little random sometimes, where you get, where you're just going around guessing.
That could be interesting. I could see going the original game route and having 2 boomerangs, as long as the second one is always blue.
Or you just get a blue rupee. I'm not sure what is possible.
I would prefer, if I were to run that game and that there's 2 boomerangs, I would want to see the second boomerang, just for mentality on way the hero pointing.
Mm-hmm. And you are right there, Dotso. That does make the logic of what is way of the hero, it can get a little weird, but not everything. The thing is, too, if you're watching this, you don't have to. If you want to play Ocarina of Time Randomizer, you don't have to play these settings. You can do whatever you want. I remember the first time I got into this was you can even do something that's called multi-world, where you're playing and you're synced up with another friend or a group of friends or 200 friends.
Oh boy, the 200 multi-world. That disaster.
Where you can, in your game, you could open a chest and you could get the Megaton Hammer for somebody else. You can find items in each other's games. You can make those kinds of seeds. That was my first experience doing that and randomizing everything, being like, I've played this game when I was a kid. No, it was a mess. Multi-world, like Shop Sanity, a scrub sandy, everything just thrown on there, everything shuffled is a bit of a mess. But
or you can go the complete opposite route and randomize absolutely nothing from the game and just play it with no cutscenes, no dialogue, and easy boot switch if you want a vanilla experience.
The boot switch and quick ocarina, if you look on both of our runners' screen, right under their C items, you see a little D-pad with the boots, the ocarina. I believe that was, I never played the 3D remakes. There was a feature for those, but that lets our runners play not have to equip the ocarina constantly, not have to go into their menu, equip the iron boots, unequip the iron boots. It's something that I forget about is in the base game, that you have to do that. I was like, wow, I don't think I could ever play through that. So if you want to just start and give yourself all the items, you can do that too.
Don't be afraid of Skull Sanity. Skull Sanity is a lot of fun.
I do think
100 more checks, but it is a lot of fun.
And yeah, not everything
is a good way to start. Star is very right about that. That's overworld skulls are annoying, but
you can try and run these as fast as you can, or you can just throw this on, throw a randomizer on, throw on a podcast, throw on some Zelda speedruns, and have yourself a pleasant weekend. As correct me if I'm wrong, we still haven't seen anything in Forest. We haven't missed any. We're still just kind of going through the motion.
Skull Sanity is that all the Skulltulas could have items, while item chests and other checks can be tokens.
Which I agree with some people. Chat that sounds terrifying.
It's horrifying. But I'm masochistic in a way. I'll play with the most ridiculous settings just because I'm not racing anyone most of the time. So I don't mind if I give up after 8 hours.
That's true. Sometimes you start a seed, you get a hint that you're just like, you know what, we're just gonna make a new seed. We're not playing this. So
I was casting a race the other day. I can't remember exactly. It was a PKR racing, as Sorry as Object, I believe. And it was, we found out from the first 2 hints was 50 skulls hard required and all dungeons hard required.
Oh,
so I was joking that at that moment, if it was a qualifier, everyone would have just quit right at that point. There would be no one running.
It's an easy top 7 for you, right? No, just kidding. It's. I feel like the more confident of a runner you are, at least execution-wise, the more you almost want a longer seed, right? If you know I can, my movement, my boss fights, everything is tip-top. I want to have to do everything because that's just more time for me to potentially build.
Yeah, I could definitely see that mentality for some runners. Like, you could see little things here where Devin did bomb jumps to get on top of the blocks to save some time, while Zoopal actually pushed those blocks all the way. I don't remember seeing if Devin used Ferrar's Wind at the twisted hallways, which can save a lot of time, where picking up that magic makes an actual difference in time that you spend in these dungeons.
Zoopal hasn't grabbed the magic. I don't think Zoopal's planted their bean yet.
He didn't plant the bean. I think he's banking on a early long shot before trying to go for that instead of spending time planting that bean.
Right. These are, during the course of this race, our runners are going to make lots of little gambles. I don't think, at least so far, we're not going to see any big ones. But all these little time saves here or there, which when our runners are running for, 3 hours, give or take some more time, it adds up, You're gonna see some time saves. You're gonna see our runners screw up a few. You do anything for 3 hours, you're gonna mess something up, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen top runners just get bodied by Ganondorf and have to start the whole fight over. So it things like that happen, especially if you're running seeds that are not so plentiful and you don't have a lot of hearts. So your margins for mistakes are that much tighter.
I do want to know, did they set the heart color? Because they do have the same colored hearts, but not the same for the other cosmetics there.
I could see them setting their heart colors that way. That color stands out pretty nice. Some people are quite psychotic with the color choices that they choose for their hearts and magic. Where there be black hearts and black magic meters.
It's funny you should say that. I randomized that. You know, there are some items where you can just get a peek at them. I had magic on the volcano, and I could not tell what that item was. It was black magic. I couldn't see it through the volcano. I was like, you know what? We'll just figure it out eventually. So there is a little. You have a little bit, especially if you want a little help seeing everything. Just make all your cosmetics a nice bright color. What do you think here, using the hook shot on these bows instead of the bow?
I'm a fan of the bow, but hookshot does make more sense. It seems to pull Meg closer to you, so it ends that cycle a little bit quicker. I do find that firing the bow and aiming the bow is quicker, though. So
true. And who doesn't like when you hit something with a bow and it flies with the arrow a little bit, right? It's the little things. I mean, from a technical standpoint, and you're not running through arrows, which I don't know if I've seen
use the bow. So like, I don't care if I'm racing; I'll use the bow on them. So
yeah.
And if I'm not racing, I don't even fight Meg. I don't bother. I do the busky skip just because I'm tired of Forest.
As Zoopal shooting the fire through the little eye here, which also fun fact, you don't actually have to hit the eye. You just have to melt the ice there. Trigger that switch. If you could Din's fire it if you want, if you really wanted to.
I've never done it with Din's fire. I've done it with fire arrows. I've never tried it with Din's fire. I didn't realize that would work. But hey, that's cool to know.
Just melt the eye and you're good. As we see, we're coming up on Phantom Ganon, which I think, maybe I'm wrong. I think Phantom Ganon, one of the hardest boss fights in the game. Maybe not for our runners, maybe not to do quick enough, but from a casual perspective.
Oh, from a casual perspective, Phantom Ganon is that wake-up boss. It's like, you're an adult now. Things are getting real.
Yeah, other than that, it's going to be... I expect a pretty quick, clean fight here from both of our runners. As just to qualify for this tournament, just to be top 32 is a daunting thing. I know I participated in some qualifiers. Nowhere near. Was abysmal. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of practice, and you'd want to think for other people a little luck, but more often than not, the top runners finish near the top, right? You average it out.
There have been some surprises of those that didn't make it, but yeah, the top runners definitely earn their spots.
As that Ganon just wants to get out of his picture. Link says no, baps him on the nose, get back in the portrait, runs around. Zoopal's still just following him along. Where do you think we're going to see our runners go after Forest Temple, assuming we don't get any new items?
That's a little tricky. We thinking what's barren. We don't have logical access to desert. We don't have logical access to, well, I can see one of our runners making a fire dip. Hoping for a French vanilla hammer. It's a really quick check, and you get a lot of information really fast just from one or two chests.
Yeah, even that first chest can tell you, hey, if you don't get a key in your first chest, it says, hey, you need a hammer to progress here. And that peace of mind of knowing, at least I'm not missing out on anything. There's nothing I'm stranding behind here.
Dip to fire seems very likely. I think Devin would probably be the one to do that. You can dip water. We don't have a Zora tunic, but parts of it are out of logic, but you have hookshot, you have iron boots. you'll have ZL. So a lot of water does open up for you logically.
Because we are seeing Phantom Ganon's magical little dive attacks there every now and then. It's not a friendly fight.
Especially with banned tricks not being able to ISG for that fight, making it a little bit less consistent.
As really, if you can get him to throw out those tennis balls really close to you, it's ideal. But if he just doesn't want to play ball, then I mean, you gotta play his game, I guess. So we're going out now. We'll probably see that Zelda's Lullaby pickup at some point.
With the current spawns, I could see a prelude, save reset, or save reset and doing it. We're gonna get a few more hints here. That's just 50 Baron again.
Nothing too fancy. We are still missing some Way of the Hero, correct?
So we had a completely barren stone forest because it's AD. Why would there be anything in Forest Temple in an AD run?
It's at least we're out. We're moving around. We're seeing other cool stuff. We're not sitting here looking at that. As we do see the prelude.
Oh, I didn't realize before how good of a situation we are. We do have Nocturne and Hover Boots. So Shadow Temple's completely open to us as well.
Right.
You can.
We don't have Din's Fire.
Oh, we don't have Din. Right. I missed it. Okay. I'm completely losing on that. So yeah, we don't have Dins. Huh. Yeah, I'm expecting one to dip fire, one to dip water at this place. At this play, there's not really other things that feel good.
Right. We are hitting that thing where you're always just like one item away from being able to finish a dungeon. It feels like, which you don't always hate to see. With the big, really our main difference here is Zoopal has that strength too. Zoopal did the Ocarina of Memory game, whereas we don't see that on DareDevin's side.
Not a huge problem. We don't have Requiem, we don't have Longshot, we don't have Epona's Song, so there's no logical access to Spirit. As Devin's picking up ZL, and which is definitely the right play. Like, just grab it, get it over with.
Which that
even if you go immediately back to adult,
right? It bite you in the butt there an hour from now when you do have access. When you are looking at the Spirit Temple, you are looking at Gerudo Training Grounds.
Does Devin actually check the Great Fairy here? I'm pretty sure he does, and hoping that proves me wrong. Yeah, he's not. Yep. Okay, he's going for it.
All right. That's one of those checks that you can just you just leave around forever. You know, maybe it shows up. Maybe you don't think about it. Oh, also grabbing a Skulltula. I didn't realize Devin didn't grab this one yet.
Which means he probably didn't grab the hint either for 40, which I believe was on the sledge.
What do you feel about grabbing the? How do you feel about grabbing the second hint stone, which is a little farther in, closer to the castle?
At this point, I feel like Devin has a good game plan set up that he doesn't feel he needs the hint. Mm-hmm. But I would probably grab it at this point. You're still missing your Way of the Hero. You're missing lots of Way of the Hero hints. We only had GTG on Way of the Hero. So knowing that those are missing, it's definitely worth grabbing that hint at this point. Will he? We'll see.
Find out.
See? Never pays off.
Technically it's just as likely as any other check, right? Locked behind that stuff, but they just never seem to pay off. It does look like Devin is going to head over, grab that other hint.
Yeah, and that Baron, we can see his tracker, so I'm kind of speaking with a little bit of extra knowledge here. He's missing so many hints that this just feels important.
Mm-hmm. It's Death Mountain Trail is on the way of the hero. Devin,
We know Big Goron's dead. There is nothing in that. Oh, okay. So there's 2 checks left on that. There's the ferry on the top, and there's also the Storm's Grotto.
Right, which
we have.
We don't know. Maybe we're about to get Song of Storms right here as Devin's making their way back to the graveyard. Get another song. It's that is a handy hint to have right there. You think, oh, it's on the way to the hero. Well, it's only 2 items or 2 locations we haven't checked. They're going to be something important.
It's also very important is one of them is completely songs locked, so you're going to shift your priority to getting songs again at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand Devin making this play as a child too, because without a fire source, no dins, no fire arrows, with a little bit of fire storage, you can make it back and get the front check of the composer grave. So
right.
Doing this as a child is slightly better. And there's our opponent.
Which the fire storage lets you you pull off a little trick here, which the next time you pull out your stick, it's already on fire. So this part is a little precise because you will lose the storage if you go a little too far here. So Devin's going to pull out the stick before he losing fire storage, do these side jumps, and make it through this door just in time to light the torches.
Thankfully, walking through the door guarantees lighting that first torch, which resets the timer. So.
Mm-hmm. As it's a bit of a tricky. There's another Hylian. Just to remind Devin, who bought the Hylian shield earlier.
Now he knows GTG is on Way of the Hero. Okay, so he's going to try and clear. He doesn't have his strength 2, which does eliminate 3 checks from GTG.
Missing out.
But he does Emperor's Wind, so it doesn't feel too awful.
But that. You gotta, when you make your way over to Lost Woods as a child again, right? From DareDevin's side, to get the Strength 2. The Strength 2 being the Ocarina, little Ocarina memory game. We also have Big Poe available to us. But we are first seeing Devin go to the crater, while Zoopal is checking out Zora's River here.
So, I would see if he gets bailed out by finding a Kokiri sword. We don't have a child spawn in the Kokiri village, so it would be Sacred Forest Meadow or Bolero. Well, Sacred Forest Meadow to get back and do Deku Tree. So doing it on the path there would probably be the soonest he would do it. If he starts to get a little run down with checks, I can see a Skull Mask play as well.
Yeah, that Skull Mask, it's a bit of a quest chain that takes a little bit to do. You'd never want something important. Almost like, I feel like most runners don't necessarily rush. Obviously, depending on the situations, what songs you have, what item checks you have. But especially this seed, you're probably assuming your counterpart isn't rushing it as well. So, Devin, also, I forgot, Zoopal has the Iron Boots, while Devin doesn't as well, which is also in the Lost Woods. So that Lost Woods trip could be the big route difference that we're looking for, to sort of put one runner ahead. Again, it's hard to say a runner is ahead when, in Randomizer. Until it's over, it's not, anything could happen.
So... Devin has the hint right now for Death Mountain Trail being Way of the Hero. So if this is the item, that puts him in a much better position. And it's Lens. Wait a minute.
So walk us through this Lens potential. We don't know all this. It could be Way of the Hero.
It absolutely can be, depending on the location of Requiem. Or if it is the chest mini game. Those are the only 2 required things in these settings. So the chess mini game requires the Lens to be considered in logic. as well as magic. It does consider magic as well. The other is making your way through the wasteland, which our runners could do without the lens, but it does point that direction.
Mm-hmm. Which you'd hate to see a vanilla Requiem, but what you gonna do? So Devin is checking these grottos that Zoopal did earlier, or not? Okay, yep. Just jumping on Epona, making sure Epona doesn't go anywhere. Stay put or lock. Oh, good point, Melrose. Requiem could be locked behind Spirit Temple's completion, since Spirit Temple is our Forest Medallion. Now, the Forest Medallion will get a song at the Temple of Time as soon as we have the Forest Medallion, and then also when we have gotten the Forest, Fire, and Water Medallions, we'll get another song.
That opens up the Burning Kakariko cutscene, which normally gives you Nocturne. But it could also just be a vanilla Requiem too. So there's 3 ways that song could be that song could be locked just by Spirit Temple's own existence.
Mm-hmm. And if it's something even like Rudo's letter is in the Spirit Temple, then we need it just to get to that item to get us to our ice cavern. So it's looking that way. We'll see a Lens of Truth market game when it's convenient, but likely nothing.
I still stand by fairies giving nothing, because the lens, unless it's the market chess game, these runners don't need the lens. They know how to do Wasteland naked. I'm almost positive they can. So it's a item for Way of the Hero.
Yeah, it's really just kind of letting you know where Requiem probably is. Which, now if it is, it could be, we'll go crazy and we'll lose our minds if it turns out something like Megaton Hammer is on the market.
The Storm's Grotto. That would be
So, we're going through Gerudo Valley. Zoopal just picking up some more Skulltulas.
This Devin's play, though, this is absolutely expected. GTG is Way of the Hero. You're pretty much just hinted that Lens is Way of the Hero. There's a 50-50 shot at this point on whether or not that was the item that's Way of the Hero. So clearing out this, you have the bow, you have the hook shot, you can do a lot of GTG.
Mm-hmm. You really just can't do the toilet and missing that strength too. It's going to throw us off a little bit. But maybe not logically everything like the that Megaton Hammer chest.
The Gerudo guard being a little cagey, not wanting to jump inside the torch, but there we go.
Understandable. If I was, if I was a guard at the good old Gerudo Fortress and they said, hey, you got to jump into the torch. This guy's shooting the hook shot in the air. You got to jump in the torch. I wouldn't want to either, but what are you going to do? The Gerudo membership card is not randomized as well. Our runners haven't made their way to Lake Hylia yet. So we don't have Pierre, but we do have hover boots to make our way to the chest at the top.
Devin's not even bothering with horseback archery, just skipping it.
Get me my Way of the Hero. Or NPC, yeah.
And there's a biggie stick. Nice.
I'd like to think Biggoron Sword is Way of the Hero. I'd like just a hint of where the Biggoron Sword is every game, right? Like, let me know where it is.
There's certainly races where it makes a difference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where just speed of killing a boss is that much important.
And, if there is it gives you a little more leeway on your execution sometimes. If it's the difference between, 1 cycle or 2 cycle, it's going to be a lot easier with that Biggoron Sword. So do you want to explain why we fight everything by crouching and pointing our little stick at it?
Sure. So there's a little glitch in the coding that I'm actually not entirely convinced is a glitch, because they didn't get rid of it in Majora's Mask, where the crouch stab doesn't actually have its own damage value. But because of the way that variables are stored, it saves the damage from the last attack you performed. So by doing a jump slash, so the Master Sword, for example, by default has 2 damage. And doing a jump slash doubles that to 4. By doing a jump slash and then only using crouch stabs after that, your crouch stabs will all do 4 damage on a hit.
Which, it also just happens to be one of the fastest attacking animations. So it's just everything all in one.
And like I said, they didn't get rid of it in Majora's Mask. So I'm going to say it's dev intended.
Yeah, I think somebody wanted, somebody's kid, the classic, like, my dad works for Nintendo, and they're like, all right, I'm going to let my kid know so he can tell all the kids at school.
It does, and the attack does not have to hit, Wesley. It can just be floating into the air. That stores the property. It also stores the properties of it. So it will store that, like, it will pretend to be a Master Sword, for example. If there's anything that has a bonus effect for it being a Master Sword attack, it's pretty nice.
So Zoopal is going to be making a similar play. Although pulling out that bottle, we might see a big pose check on Zoopal's screen shortly. Other than that, I'd expect just kind of following off of where DareDevin is going.
Well, we did get a Market Way of the Hero hint for him, so you never know what that might be pointing to.
Some people say clear all your Way of the Heroes. If it's Way of Hero, do it. Even though it just, if you just get, there's only the 2 normal Way of the Hero checks for one location. Really only guarantees 1 item, but it can't hurt, especially depending on your songs you're going to be getting. Who knows the next time you're going to be riding around Hyrule Field on Epona. Yeah,
this is such an easy check when you're used to it. So getting this over with is totally worth it.
As the biggest difference between our runners so far has really just been Zoopal's being a little more thorough, just doing a little more checks and making their way through. And that's why we see Zoopal with the other strength upgrade and iron boots over DareDevin. Whether or not that'll pay off, we're going to have to wait and see. Such as if one of the Way of the Hero items for DareDevin...
Okay!
Ooh, it pays off!
Whoa! Okay, full clear. He even has his Aura Tunic. Full clear water now. Just go right there. Full clear of the water temple. That's just the play at this point.
You can get another medallion.
There has to be another Market Way of the Hero hint. There's no way that it's not double Market Way of the Hero hints.
This is this is only my third. It's only my third commentating I've ever done, but this is 2 on my 3 seeds now. Big pose our Way of the Hero. Just saying, get your big pose. Which a little variation from the vanilla game. Normally you have to go around and turn in 10 big pose scattered all around Hyrule.
Yep, all 10 big pose.
We only make you
for
get one.
A bottle.
Now, if you're a kid, you got to get all the Kukos in Kakariko, but only 1 big pose. We're not going to make you go back and forth all the time.
I could see random number of chickens being added in season 5, but
correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't seen anything on DareDevin's screen yet.
No, GTG has been pretty barren, which is a bad sign. But like I said, he does have Ferora's Wind, so coming here and clearing as far as you can and doing all the checks you can without Song of Time and without Silvers still doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah, second bomb bag. You'll never turn more bombs down, I guess. But just a small key there. So I think we get a save and quit here. Devin did save first, so we're gonna keep some of those keys.
He's gonna pop Ferora's Wind by the entrance, and as well, I assume. For those not familiar, we actually have another little function going on for Ferora's Wind that's not in the vanilla game. You can use Ferora's Wind between dungeons. So if you place it in GTG, which you actually couldn't do before, we added this as a dungeon location, you can play it while in Forest Temple, and it will warp you back to GTG.
So, also by saving and quitting, we saved, used some keys, saw there's nothing we want over there, quit it out, got all our keys back. We're going back through the other way. As
Way of the hero recovery heart.
Oh, it's dangerous out there. As our last check we can get in here for now. Another key. Devin's just gonna, not happy about that one. As we're locked there. So we did not find our way to the hero in GTG. It could be behind our strength upgrades. It could, who knows? Maybe it's in the toilet. But that's going to be frustrating for Devin. So Devin will leave Ferrara's Win behind. Do you go through Wasteland? Go check out Spirit Temple at this point? Check out the song at least, and
yeah, you have to. You have ZL, so you can do the fairy there as well. Of course, grab this.
Experts. Yeah.
Wait, did he? He didn't set Pierre. This is a really. Well, he does have a hover boot, so it's not too terrible. This is a little tricky check to do, though. Yeah, songs are too important. You have to do them at this point. Imagine getting Song of Time here. He doesn't have iron boots, but like Song of Time, no way the hero. You're like, oh great, it's toilet for GTG at this point. Like, it's information at this point.
And what about on Zoopal's side? So we are into the water temple. Everybody's least favorite temple. Zoopal can full clear it, can beat it. Do you just get the boss key and fight Morpha, or you look to maybe full clear it? You don't have Serenade. What play do you think we're going to be seeing from Zoopal's side here? He
also now has Ferrara's Win, so I can see a play from him where he just beats the boss, goes right back in, drops Ferrara's Win, does some other checks. But you don't want a full clear water. It is it's so annoying to do and so time consuming because of how spaced out some of those later checks are.
This is the best instance of being able to quickly put on your iron boots and being able not have to go into the menu. That's a nightmare casually.
I know, 3 shots, 50 points. Will Devin get it?
Oh, Devin's a little shaky there, looking around, and only needed 1. Oh my gosh, all 3 bullseyes. These runners make horseback archery look so easy. I swear, this is one of the hardest things to do in the game.
Zoopal can't full clear. He has no Song of Time, so he can't do the river check.
That's right. I forgot about the river. That is the Song of Time location. I forget every time. Guarantee it. But I can guarantee you our runners will forget. Especially then you orphan rang on river. Something, I don't know. I think Water Temple will be a little nice to us at least.
I wouldn't be surprised if Zoopal drops Ferrara's Winds in the long shot room even before full clearing the dungeon or finding the boss key, just because he knows he might have to go back to that exact spot.
So we'll find out, I guess, once if that Song of Time is super important, I guess. We'll potentially find out here, and then shortly after, Zoopal will be over to Way of the Hero GTG and be able to do everything but the toilet. So our big Song of Time locations, maybe blocking us, which I don't believe we know. Do we have any hints, or can we derive any hints that we know about the Song of Time, where that could be hanging out?
There's still so many song checks. So it's really hard to say.
We're stocking up keys early in the Water Temple. All of us back when this game came out would be stoked about getting all these small keys, because you're always looking for one here.
No, you want an item to hint you on your next direction if you're Zoopal right now. Because he does have the Guru training ground, but he doesn't have Deathbound Trail, so he doesn't know the lens pointing him to Spirit, which you probably might still do anyway. just for the song hint.
Right.
So, Gideon, Strength 2 was on the Simon Says game in Lost Woods, and Big Pose for Long Shot. So we had both hook shot, long shot, bow, and bombs all in market.
Everybody's favorite adult items.
Strength 3.
Golden gauntlets in the water.
Okay. This is your first medallion, though, so it doesn't really help too much.
And if there is nothing in Light Trial, that's another location Daredevin could end up getting another strength upgrade for more GTG access. Which, again, the market pose. It's Zoopal being a little more thorough. So far, Daredevin picking up a Slingshot, which is logically required to beat Deku. It's nice knowing when you're in logic and when you're not. Our runners don't, which is essentially when you know you're in logic or you know logically where items could be, it really limits and lets you kind of choose what, to somebody not knowing if they're logically, or quote unquote in logic, as in they're where the game wants them to be. It feels like you could be looking anywhere, but when you know, okay, I'm out of logic here, so that means the Deku sword or blah blah blah, it has to be here, XYZ. It's just a little routing tip for our friend. As there's the Water Temple boss key in the Water Temple, and there's
storms. Okay, so that opens up bottom of the well and a bunch of grottos here.
We can finish off that Death Mountain Trail Way of the Hero with the Song of Storms.
Get that confirmation on it. So this is where it hurts. Is the Way of the Hero the lens to Slingshot so Deku would be in logic, or is it the Song of Storms?
Right,
because if it is lens to Slingshot for Way of the Hero, that would be the most horrible Way of the Hero pathing I have ever seen.
Daredevin or Zoopal making this, it's a very precise angle you got to take to get up here. It's a little bit of a time skip. Change the water. We're gonna see Daredevin likely go finish off this dungeon. So we do have Daredevin making their way over. Zoopal finish off the Water Temple. We'll get our first medallion. We need 6 of them. We've got none. We're an hour and 15 in. No medallions.
All right, everyone. So full clear your Way of the Heroes. Always do that. If a location says it, just do every check. Don't make any assumptions. We'll see if this pays off, though. It was the lens. Oh my god.
You'd love to get the hints to items, but I mean, now. Pulling Morpha. Oh, Morpha's slapping Zoopal in the face and just jumping out of there. You want to pull Morpha into this corner and then just beat the shit out of Morpha. That's really the plan here for this boss. As we need to throw an annoying boss at the end of an annoying dungeon. So there's a jump attack and a couple stabs in the corner. Should do it.
Relatively clean. A little bit of a misplay, but it was still a decent fight for Zoopal. He didn't get grabbed, which...
oh gosh, if you get grabbed, that's when you just put down the controller.
You walk away at that point. You just concede.
Yeah. You say, you know what? If my opponent's still racing tomorrow, I'll jump back in. But if not, we're done. So we have Daredevin going as a kid, potentially making his way over to the Lost Woods. Oh, we are going to check that Lens of Truth little market game, though. Because, there hasn't been enough items in the market.
Oh, yeah. Way of the Hero treasure chest game. I could see it. If this is Din's, I'll be amazed.
I've never seen a more stacks market. Which I guess technically makes sense,
Did your guesses in, everyone, real quick?
Yeah.
Right? I'm always RRLLR. So far I'm good.
I'm just right all the way every
Right
time.
all the way? I see.
All the way. Because look at that glorious stick on Zoopal's side falling down from the heavens.
It could be a stick upgrade. Come on, Zoopal.
Yeah.
Go get it. Go get it.
You never know. Another one of those items that isn't required, but if it's your first one, you're like, hey, sure.
Oh, a stick refill always just feels so nice.
Oh, it's just a good old little peace of mind. And our last chest. Oh,
it's okay. So unless there's still one more grotto, and then there's well, actually, it could just be to get there. So depending on where Requiem is, Lens of Truth to get to Spirit Temple in general.
Which I wouldn't be. Which, you know, Spirit Temple's got those 2 songs behind it. Which,
yeah,
at this point, one of them very easily could. As we're gonna see bottom of the well here. Likely by Daredevil. I say stuff like this, and then they just like go the other way, and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. Of course they're not. But Zoopal with the fastest fish catch I have seen. That was just flawless, standing right on the edge there. If only actually fishing were that easy. We got nothing. So Zoopal's completionist attitude here, sort of knocking everything out as he goes, has definitely paid off so far. Which, now do you think Zoopal is going to Gerudo Training Grounds?
He's playing a Pona song, so almost definitely. He has long shot, so he could get across the gap that way, but he'd be walking around or warping to other locations, right? Where he is, it's so much quicker to just take the horse there. We're going to see a bottom of the well play from Devin soon. He just drained the water. He's going to get some skulls first, I think, but...
Right. So we still haven't seen 20 skulls from either of our runners.
Have we even seen 10? I don't remember seeing 10.
Zoopal checked 10, and it was something lame, but we'll get confirmation of that, right? This is the creepiest house in the whole game. I just want you to know, I hated Skulltulas. That big one that drops down in the middle, terrifying. They want me to save him. It's like, sorry, I'm not going back in that house. I don't care what you got.
I mean, the infinite money is nice if you get all 100, but really,
what are you gonna spend that money on?
maybe if you're really bad at fighting against likes. Just constantly losing your tunics.
I remember getting so upset by the like in the Shadow trial. It eats you, steals your tunic, and then spits you off the side, and it's gone forever, right? As Zoopal doing a little trick there with a bomb true to see, I believe that was just some arrows there.
Yeah, nothing there. Okay, this is actually a little bit of a good sign for Devin. He's trading in the Keaton mask, which puts that the Skull mask a little bit higher priority for him. And shows he's going to work the Lost Woods soon. Doing that will make a huge difference in his routing.
I think as soon as we see that, we're going to see DareDevin go back over to GTG to finish off what you can, maybe. And you got Ferraro's there, and it'll be a quick trip. But Zoopal being able to do that in one trip, like what if the Way of the Hero GTG was like Mirror Shield, and then you can just scroll on over to the Spirit Temple and have to make one trip across the wasteland? That'd be great. So
current locations for Requiem are possibly... Oh, so yeah, possibly Burning Cat, but really the one place left that it could be where it wouldn't lock itself for Requiem, making Child Spirit play, would be Ice Cavern. So,
which we
are
don't
we going to see a World
yet.
Traveler seed?
This would be something if we like triple dipped the Spirit Temple, but with no Requiem, right?
That would be so awful.
I don't wonder what. I guess maybe we'd have to like. Oh, we do see. I was gonna say if we don't have Rudo's letter. Rudo's letter is on DareDevin's side.
All right. So Song of Storms to get access to this makes Len's not feel so awful.
Mm-hmm.
Len's way of the hero.
You know, it's another question. Is you want to be able to turn in the letter and also have Boomerang to go take out Jabu at the same time. But, you know, sometimes you really want to get to Ice Caverns. Like, you really want that song. So it could be, we'll see when DareDevin decides to turn in the letter. Because we know Zora's domain is foolish, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do a single check in Zora.
So going over there without a Boomerang is really just... Well, DareDevin hasn't done Zora's River either. So he might
he also doesn't have a scale, so he can't just, like, skip it. He has to do the actual river.
Yeah. So
if he had a scale, doing Lost Woods and going dropping off the letter doesn't feel terrible.
Mm-hmm. As the bottom of the well is one of like the densest, fastest places you can go through. It makes it really appealing, although it makes it hurt that much more when it is nothing. But not the case this season. Bow 2. Gosh, where was that other bow? There was a bow on Talon's Chickens and in the
market. Yeah,
right.
It was Bombshoe Bowling. So practically both Sphere Zero. There was a bomb bag required, but it was literally right next door.
You know, your adult starter pack, I like to think, is what you need for like the fire. Is like your Goron's bracelet, your hook shot, your bow. You know, like bombs. We kind of got those all right off the bat, which makes the all dungeons a little more tolerable, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Zoopal starting Gerudo Training Grounds, whereas DareDevin fights the most terrifying creation in this game.
Yeah, this is pretty freaky.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little scaredy pants. But.
So back in the far off year of 1998, I had the not Prima. I can't remember the brand. The strategy guide for this game.
Oh, the Brady strategy guide? Is that?
It was probably the Brady one, and that had the most horrifying artwork for Dead Hand in there.
No.
It was so terrifying to look at.
As we get a stick, you use a few sticks normally to fight them, so... Which also, if you see our runners using stick a lot, they don't have a sword, but even if they had the sword, the stick is just as strong as the Master Sword. So we'd likely see a lot of that out there. Zoopal getting 2 keys early and just checking the right side of the maze. I don't hate this play. It's going to save and quit out of here. Or not save, it's going to quit out after and reset.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of information from it, but other than that, it's not going to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So,
when you know
knowing
you're not
that there's a key here
anyway, yeah.
Two keys. Wait a minute. 2 keys. Mage has toilet. Toilet can still have an item mathematically, I believe.
Toilet could be our way of the hero.
Oh boy, are we gonna have to get like a burning cack song of time for way of the hero to get Din's fire out of the toilet?
The Boomerang in bottom of the well, both the letter
so
and
the Jabu starter kit in bottom of the well. Okay.
Which, if that Requiem is in, if Requiem is in Ice Caverns, and then something like the boss key for Spirit Temple is on Kid's side, that could be a massive, massive time save for Dev. So yeah, get your guesses in real quick in chat if you think the Way of the Hero in Gerudo Training Grounds is on that Strength 2 or in the toilet. Obviously we're favoring the Strength 2, but we love our toilet.
This is a 50-50 shot, so we're not going to do a full actual bet on this one.
Oh yeah, we're not doing an actual bet. Just guess what you like.
We are still missing 4 major items. Sorry, so we are missing a Kokiri sword, Megaton hammer, Din's fire, and Mirror shield. So maybe in a little bit we'll get a bet going for those, but.
And we did see, so we were all we know is, so we gotta do Gerudo Training Grounds, we have to do Bottom of the Well. If we have to do Ice Caverns, that's not just all dungeons, that's all dungeons and all sub-dungeons, right? We're doing it all. But this one is this race is still too close to call. And will likely stay like that for a bit.
Yeah, the routing's super divergent, but yet even with a medallion lead ahead, it doesn't feel like Zoopal's too much further. That clearing out GTG is the equivalent of doing a kid dungeon. So it still feels not GTG, Bottom of the Well. It still feels like a even race at this point.
Which, you know, DareDevin's gonna have to double dip in here, but with Furor's Wind, not so bad. As we're getting our like chest checks, there's another key. We can get at least farther. I guess our Way of the Hero could be farther in the maze. What else in here? A wallet?
Not Way of the Hero. Everything was accessible, and a bow.
Another bow.
So center chest or toilet.
Yeah, we got another key, which will let us. We will. I think we will be able to finish this dungeon out, except for the toilet right now. If it's the toilet, this is just the.
Dean, what did you roll?
Although, have we gotten a Zora's tunic?
Yes, it was in Deathbound Crater. It was the Way of the Hero in Deathbound Crater.
Right, forgot about that. Check out these frogs. This is a check Zoopal hasn't had access to, so we're one Zora's River check we haven't seen. And they got anything friendly for us? They love your jams. Just a big old heart.
Yep.
All right. Well.
So we have all 3 bomb bags, all 3 bows.
All 3 strength upgrades.
All 3 strength upgrades.
On Zoopal, so we're just missing the second magic. Are we gonna get every item here? I guess we still need some bottles to go and some scales.
Are we missing 1 bottle, I think?
I'm not sure on the bottle situation. But
because we got Rudo's letter.
Wait, you know where that one? They have to get that one. Yeah, we are missing 1 bottle, which will be the 1 check in Light Trial. That last bottle is in Light Trial. Nothing else is important. I guarantee it.
Deathbound Crater, Way of the Hero. That's not what Daredevil wants to see, because well, he has easy ways to check that, but it's just awkward at this point.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice if oh, never mind. I was gonna say Zoopal already did water. If we could see all the dungeons in actual order, you know, like get your forest medallion, then get your like your fire medallion. Axe that comment. Now I'm just, you know, you ever start talking and you just keep talking. You don't know when to stop talking. You don't know what you're gonna say, but you just keep.
You're not familiar with my commentating, then, if you think I haven't done that.
That may be what we're doing right now. As we're getting these last few checks, except for the toilet. Gerudo Training Grounds. It
Well,
burned
knowing that
one of our runners. Will it
David's
burn
feeling
the
good
other?
knowing that this is foolish, so
Mm-hmm.
he
don't
can
have to
just
run around.
bypass all this.
Good old recovery heart.
Oh, we need Kokiri's sword, Megaton hammer, mirror shield, and Din's fire for go mode. So we still have a lot.
So we get that key. We're gonna find out right now what's in the center chest. Will this let us beat another dungeon?
It is Toilet Way of the Hero!
Oh no.
Oh, Din's in toilet. It's so gonna happen.
Toilet Way of the Hero is that's gonna be painful if Daredevin gets, you know, strength 2 along the way, goes back.
Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be Hammer in there. Now that I think about it, logically that would make the most sense.
Right.
Because if we're going to need Song of Time to get it, most likely Shadow Temple is going to be required. There's a 50-50 shot at this point on where, well, maybe not 50-50, but you're needing Burning Cack is very likely at this point.
Yeah, which is a bit of a pain here. You know, this is one of those this is a seed where you gotta full clear everything. It looks like, you know, you gotta do all the dungeons, you gotta do all the little dungeons, you gotta do all Gerudo training grounds. I guess maybe Ganon's castle will be nice to us. Maybe there's nothing there, right?
I think if you're Zoopal, you're hoping that it's Ganon's castle. That's a lot of checks really quick, especially since you have Goldens.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't feel terrible. Zoopal is actually making his way through the wasteland now, without the hint that lends his way to hero. Just the song is so important. Get it over with.
I'm feeling something dirty like Kokiri Sword on the wasteland check, right? Like just something mean. Make him run past it every time. They'll think, if only I didn't get our fire arrows, I could get that. And then it was there the whole time, just taunting them.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Boomerang was in the bottom of the well. And
along with the letter,
you know, back to back. And honestly, not having a scale, like one of our closest locations to go to Jabu is a bit of a time saver. You know, I'm sure he wasn't planning on going there right after, but you might as well. Just having one kid done, well, potentially one. Who knows what Spirit's got in store for us? But Zoopal will be able to go into Spirit a little bit if he wants. Check it out. Doesn't have a fire source, doesn't have a mirror shield, but you know, you could find both of those right there in Spirit Temple. Might as well go take a peek.
There is a chance fire arrows and Dins are both still in the pool.
So how do we feel about Jabu Jabu as a dungeon? Is this a cool dungeon or is this a gross dungeon? Because that's how I categorize my
Conceptually, I like it. Execution-wise, it's just frustrating. But
yeah, a lot of those little tongues that come from the ceiling trying to hit you there are just a pain. All the little boomerang throws you got to do in here.
Baronade definitely is one of the better bosses in the game, though. That multi-stage fight is so good.
There is a lack of multi-stage boss fights in this game, I feel like. And you got Baronade is a surprisingly well put together one. Although another thing, if you didn't know, you can use Deku Nuts for pretty much everything in this game. You want to pop those bubbles, Deku Nut. You know, you want those ghosts in the Force Temple to appear, Deku Nut. You want to fight everything, Deku Nut. We get nothing like a condom in Jabu. Picking up.
If you don't have a hammer or big Goron sword and you still need to beat Ganon, Deku Nuts.
Deku Nuts. Which is, you don't see it all the time. We're not going to see it today, but every now and then, you'll have to chuck him at Ganon. So we are seeing Zoopal move into the Spirit Temple. We're not going to be able to full clear it, but we can. It's still quite a dense location. You don't have a song. You don't know when you don't have Requiem. You don't know when you're going to be back here. You might as well poke your head in.
Did Zoopal drop his Ferora's Wind in GTG?
That's an interesting question. I'm not gonna just stall for time while chat tells us. I think he did. I think he did. Thank you, Strikey91 for that. As it's been a second since we've seen any any items in here, but again, you gotta do every dungeon. You might as well run around him for a little bit.
Yeah, it's good knowing Zoopal knowing that he's not key locked does help. So if you don't find a key on one of these two chests, you know you have to come back as a child, which just means, oh, I have to do Ice Cavern. So, in a way, he probably is both relieved and annoyed that he can progress more. Because finding out right away that I'm key locked, I need to do Ice Cavern to do Child, would be pretty high information. Just letting you know I can get this over with.
Right. Which I think from Zoopal's side, we'll probably see bottom of the well soon. It's a pretty dense location. You got Nocturne to jump over there, right? You got Prelude. What do you think from Daredevin's side after Jabu, assuming we find anything else? He's looking a little bit like he doesn't have any dungeons. Well, he can jump into fire, but what do you think?
I fully expect him to grab Skull Mask right after this, since he's a child, and then do Lost Woods. You don't want to become child again until you have the Kokiri sword. So getting your child checks over with would be most likely his play.
Which we also know will turn out big for him. He's going to get Iron Boots there, and gosh, what was the? I know it. I don't know it. It was the strength upgrade.
Strength upgrade in irons, yes. Right.
As we're just going around checking some chests in the Spirit Temple, nothing major. Again, the Spirit Temple key logic is interesting. I'm just going to pretend like there is no logic, since I don't know. I don't understand it. But if you do get a couple keys and the boss key, you can full clear it rather quickly. Or you can go fight the boss rather quickly. Whereas full clearing it adds a little more time on there.
Yeah, it eludes me remembering key logic for Spirit Temple. It is really convoluted based on what items you have access to. So,
because the game will assume you use your keys as foolishly as possible. So between being an adult and a kid and everything you can do, they're a little tricky. As you know, Zoopal just excuse me, little lizard guys. I gotta check this chest.
No reason to fight him.
No. Which is an interesting thing. There is a lot of not fighting we do in this randomizer. There's a lot of just, live and let live.
Fighting things is slow. This room without a fire source, though, is just so frustrating. Thankfully, hover boots make it a little bit better, because you don't have to get to swing a time block, but...
As also ending up right next to the room, that's the perfect little maneuver there.
I actually have to look into the logic of that room on whether or not it considers hover boots or fire source part of the logic to even get through it.
Right, because I think in order to get one of them, if you don't have hovers, you pretty much have to jump to your death.
You have to jump to your death or play Song of Time. You
Wait,
can do
what
that
is Song of Time do in that room?
There's a block in there that you can stand on that puts one of those guys over the fire.
Oh my gosh, how did I never...
Yeah.
All my years. Oh my, I didn't know that. Oh man. So the Iron Knuckle is having none of that crouch stabbing business. These guys are hurt.
4 hearts of damage. More damage than the final boss per hit.
Throwing that big thing is we do have double D's on Baronade.
That's a good find. It's a comfort. Like, it's not required at all.
So especially with the amount of health that Daredevin has, we're not going to see a death on that side anytime soon. I believe Zoopal is close to 20 Skulltulas as well. We might see that check routed in.
We were hinted earlier that there was the Stone of Agony on the left-hand chest, on the left hand of the statue. So Zoopal's not going to bother wasting time picking that up.
We get to skip the most annoying room in the game here with the long shot. Just jump right up to the top. And questionable hitbox on that little spiky. But he doesn't get hit there.
We're going to do one of my favorite skips in Spirit Temple. It's so minor, but it's so nice once I saw this done and how easy it is to do.
Right, where you just take a little hit and just grab the big chest. And Mao in chat, double D's is double defense. Which will half the damage our runner will take there.
Which we affectionately call titties, because they're big double D's.
As Daredevin is going through the Lost Woods checks here with the Skull Mask. Now, if Skull Mask is nothing, how do you think Daredevin's going to feel finding this strength upgrade? Maybe thinking, oh, the other runner might have gotten this a long time ago. What do you think we might see some more erratic routing, maybe making some more leaps, or just like, all right, now I've got this check, now I'm going to go and just keep going.
Devin hasn't had a moment yet that he feels he's not made any progress. Everything he's done so far, he'll probably feel a little bad about the strength upgrade because he was near Shadow, but without a mirror shield, it still doesn't feel too terrible.
Right.
Everything he's done has been logical and pushed him towards the end. Let's see what the Eat Rock Fairy has for us.
Again,
if I was him, I wouldn't feel bad. Because there was never a time where he was wandering around just doing checks for sake of doing checks. Everything has been for progress.
What might feel a little bad is if he goes back to GTG, that strength upgrade, just to find out he needs the toilet.
It's still information.
Right. It's another thing you know.
It's another thing you know. It would suck. It would hurt quite a bit to do that, but you know that at this point, Song is either ice locked, which you feel good about. Song of Time being ice locked is fine. You opened up that already. You did the progression to get into Ice Cavern.
Yeah.
So it still doesn't feel awful, but just knowing that your Song of Time, that was your Ferrar's Wind, you're going to cast it again. It's not that big of an issue.
And it's been one of those weird seeds where you gotta do everything, and luckily enough, there's items everywhere, right? So everything's just kind of led into something else here. But that Skull Mask turning up nothing.
No dungeon has been completely foolish. It's an AD seed, and Bottom of the Well has had something. Way the hero GTG. So you know that there's going to be something in there. Any progress you make in Rural Training Ground is working your way the hero progression. It doesn't hurt.
Zoopal also grabbing that Skull Mask. We'll see if Zoopal gets over there to turn it in, or just grabbing it because you're in the area. You know? Obviously not much else over there other than the slingshot game is opened up for both of them now.
I think that's full 4 bottles for Devin at this point. So I think next time he opens up his menu, we'll know for sure. Let's hope that he does those other 2 checks, though.
Right.
He has a slingshot out, which is a good sign.
Just gonna pop this little Deku merchant. He's like, all right, let's make it. You shot me in the face. Let's make a little deal. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, we're just...
Okay, this is a warp.
Right,
This is a warp. Okay.
Good. I don't have sound on, so I didn't know which song we had going. But this is actually the smartest play. When you change the time there, when you're in this location, when you're not in the overworld, it teleports you back to your last entrance, which is a great little move. But can Devin defeat the Ocarina of Time memory game?
I'm pretty sure he can. Nope, never mind.
All right, I didn't like that first pattern either. You know, that was not a banger. Devin plays bangers only. Zoopal we're going to see this wonderful little game again. Feel free to get some more guesses in. I'm not sure, is this uniform across seeds or is this randomized?
Randomized. Every time you open that door, it's different.
Perfect. So again, we're going all right. My bet, and I'm already wrong. All right, I'm sure we'll get something as Devin gets that strength upgrade. Instantly leaving after that. Well, not much you could do here anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing left here. There's nothing left to do as a child. You don't have Kokiri Sword. You have no other checks. So going back adult, you have Iron Boots now. Oh, did he get the arm? He played the thing, right? He played the target.
He did the memory game. I think the irons were in a grotto.
Oh, adult archery for our irons. Sorry.
Oh, right. Or no, the adult that was hovers. Hovers was adult, like arch.
Yeah, hovers for
The iron boots were in the Lost Woods grotto. He did not pick those up.
You can still get him as an adult though. So
that's true. With Forest,
but he is going right back for. He's going to GTG now. So
going just to GTG just to find out. Hey, it's in the toilet. Come back with the Song of Time and Iron Boots, which, who knows the next time we're going to see that location? Because if he didn't pick him up, he might just. If he didn't pick up those Iron Boots, he might have just forgotten that he might mentally have checked that location off, which could be a bit of a break for Zoopal here, especially if something big is in Ganon's castle, because that'll just put off a second medallion for even longer.
Zoopal is doing his bottom of the well now, so he's going to be in good shape to do job, but we know that that's just medallion and Nara's love, so there's nothing really there.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to we're just kind of retreading old ground here for a second. Nothing new on Zoopal's screen, nothing new on Devin's screen. Devin is going to go farther into that maze, and I wonder if we'll see some anger crouch shields.
I could definitely see that.
You come in here twice, you're not feeling too confident. The other big check Devin has to get to is the big pose.
Our prescription for some eyeball frogs over in the Skulltula house, but we already know that Big Goron's dead, so I'm pretty sure we were hinted Big Goron dead, right? No, actually we haven't gotten a Big Goron hint.
Oh.
Neither of our runners have that marked off, so
this is a bit of a weird one then.
Yeah, that's. Wait a minute.
So I would say right now, Zoopal's got a bit of an advantage. Having long shot off of the big pose and iron boots. Which
that bow would not be way of the hero. It's actually bow locked. But no, it would not be the way of the hero because there was one Sphere 0 as a child. Well, technically Sphere 1, but practically Sphere 0.
Whew. So, DareDevin's got some interesting decisions now on where you go now, right?
I expect him to play Bolero right now. That would be my expectation. Yeah, my expectation is Bolero. He's going to do horseback archery because he's here. Oh wait, no, he's not. He's jumping river.
I guess jumping river. I think he already did horseback archery. We could see an ice cavern play at some point as well, which will. Maybe you get Requiem there. Maybe you get Song of Time there. Also, picking up a couple more Skulltulas to get that good old...
And a few item checks in Ice Cavern too, so...
Mm-hmm. You got a few bottles as well, so it's going to be a clean... going through Ice Caverns with one bottle, not Fun time.
I'm a little confused as to what Devin was just doing with that bomb chew, but okay. Is he going to jump onto the ledge? Let's see. Or is he just doing the setup to look? Oh, he's just doing the setup to look. Okay.
Such a handy little trick. Especially if he doesn't. Oh, it's just short. Just was a little too far away to check it. Devin does have the heart lead, though. So Devin,
Very important. He is much
More
tankier.
more love on. So yeah, because after both players beat Ganon, they do have to fight each other. And no,
Not even in the game. They just have to fly over and just fisticuffs.
that is our finals. We will have the best. It's like, yeah, you just. Oh no. So maybe this is going to be a little bigger. Yep, bigger on crafts bombs.
Okay,
All
there's
right.
a big one on it. All right.
That's safe to know. I don't think I've ever seen anything on Bigoron, but
Oh, I've had a big Goron with first logical magic meter before. That was fun.
As the waterfall just gives us a Deku slingshot bag. We're getting a lot of those. A lot of those little crouchies.
Wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, that definitely means... Okay, yeah. So that's our first logical slingshot. So
Oh, right.
the other one was on lens, so...
Okay. So that one, a second slingshot almost feels like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
I guess it helps to know where
it's information.
Is, but
Yeah, but you already knew Song of Storms was your way to hero progression from the lens at this point.
So let's see if we need a hammer to progress in the Fire Temple. Whereas Zoopal is probably heading over to Jabu after this place. And
We
look
are
at that.
not hammer locked, so
Getting small
a little
key.
bit deeper into fire we go.
We'll check these next two rooms. Now, I believe both of the next rooms have to have keys in them for us to keep going without a hammer.
Hammer and toilet could definitely be the case.
Gosh, yeah, this is a messy seed. A lot of items everywhere, but at the same time, you got to do everything anyway. So yeah, like you were saying, I feel like most of these runners aren't feeling like they're wasting a lot of time. Just kind of moving around. With Zoopal's routing putting them in a little bit of a lead right now.
Yeah, there's been no moon logic checks. So everyone's, like, both runners, you can understand exactly what they're doing. No one feels desperate at this point. This feels a little desperate from Devin, but, like, at this point, you're in fire without a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very early tunic, though. So it's like, that kind of is pointing you a bit to running a deep fire, but
maybe you're gonna check ice caverns before crossing the wasteland again, so potentially get Requiem Spirit, so you don't have to hoof it across the desert. As we are key locked here, some bombs. So we'll come back later with the hammer.
playing Bolero here. So Bolero is useful for warp without a scale. Bolero is pretty much only useful for getting back to Lost Woods. It's slightly quicker than playing Minuet, strangely enough. Oh, he's just warping out and warping. He has prelude though.
So we save warped out. Do we see Big Pose right here? They're right there. No, we're heading over to ice caverns.
Huh.
So the long shot is on Big Pose, we know.
Yeah. That's the entire way the hero is in market. Everything else is just whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. So we do have both our runners just 7 years apart, both entering Zora's River, one as an adult, one as a kid. We're really hoping for something good on this song, on this Ice Caverns check for Daredevil, who did plant the bean. I do like if you got the money to plant a bean right here, saves you some time from going through the river again. It's a fantastic play.
If you're ever expecting you're possibly doing Ice Cavern and don't have a scale, it's at most cost you 40 rupees.
Mm-hmm. 7 years is too big of a lead. The race is over. Oh, maybe. Well, you know, maybe Zoopal will teleport a little bit in the future. Zoopal also checking those frogs, which we know frogs 2 is nothing. That's another check I haven't seen an important item on, and I'm scared to comment on it, or we'll see it in the future, is an important item on frogs 2, which requires you playing how many songs to them total? Is it 6 songs?
You need to play 5 songs. Song of Storms is not included, and then you have to play their memory game, quote unquote memory game, but it is a fixed pattern that time.
Memory game is a fixed pattern. Casually, that memory game is hard. They do not give you a lot of time for that.
I have it written down. I don't mess around.
Which that is a thing that could throw a runner off, right? If you haven't done it recently.
My first rando ever had an item on Frogs 2.
Oh gosh.
It was not nice.
So Devin's trying to mix. Did we get the hint?
We got a hint for icy water, but only Zoopal picked it up.
Only Zoopal got the hint. All right.
Oh wait, no, Devin got it too. Why is he even looking? It's on his tracker.
You got a lot going on. You're so at least not getting burned for not having iron boots here. But let's find out what's in this ice cavern. I think one of the more pleasant areas on the scale on our dichotomy of grading from cool versus gross. I would definitely put the ice cavern.
I think the music in Ice Cavern saves it from being absolutely dreadful.
Right. It's those bats do annoy me. I've never understood these bats, right? So you get the blue fire, so you melt the ice. But then when the bats hit you with the blue fire, you freeze. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm missing something.
And the fact that they don't lose their ice properties after they hit you is garbage.
Right. Like let me catch a bat in a bottle instead of doing the blue fire. Let me just let that bat out.
That would be so cool.
With it, right? You just get one bat, you let it out, you catch it again. There you go.
Oh, if this is Vanilla Serenade, I'm gonna cry for for Devin, and I'm pretty sure Zoopal's gonna do this check too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be a Spirit Temple locked Requiem. Oh, that would.
Ugh. Which did we see on Zoopal went a little farther? Did we see the boss key?
No.
All right. If that boss key is on kid's side too, which wait,
no,
no,
would make it
I'm being foolish.
You can't do it.
I'm getting a little crazy. We're getting a little wild here. Gotta calm down. As that bat being mean, but
the boss key could be locked by Mirror Shield though. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Zoopal did full dive on, like he just did the hand chest and ducked out. I think he could have gone a little bit further.
Gotcha. Bats are enveloped in ice, not blue fire. Well, that's news to me. Thanks for the pro tip, man.
No, it's actually blue fire because there is a way to get rid of the ice on them, and if they fly through the blue fire again, they get reignited. I don't remember what it is, but I haven't. It's.
You know, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not anymore.
There's so many weird mechanics in this stupid game. Or it might be blue. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, it's the blue fire in the room that causes the bats to... Like, you'll always see blue fire in the room with the frozen bats.
True. I do like blue fire is cold, red ice is hot. But, you know, I'll take that.
There we go. Yeah. The bats in this room don't have it. That's right. And if they fly through, they'll gain it.
It would be called ice. That's true. They are called ice keys. Man, listen, I think what we can take away here is we're all right.
Or do we trust Navi? Navi could just be lying to us. She could be making up all these names. We're just taking her at her word.
So still no items, but Zoopal is going to open up after finishing Jabu. Is going to get 2 medallions. 2 medallions give us that beautiful rainbow bridge into Ganon's castle, where there are a whole bunch of checks just waiting for us that we can get almost all of them. We can't get the second one in the Shadow Trial yet.
Zoopal has a long shot. He can get it.
Oh, it does have the long shot. I'm forgetting about that one. So we can get some crafty long shotting over there.
It's a little bit silly logic. You do have to long shot the like, but you can get it.
I think that's got to be the next play. Just the sheer density. You know, you still need a handful of items. Although after that, I still wouldn't be surprised to see an Ice Caverns play, knowing, you know, you probably need Song of Time, and you're probably gonna really want Requiem Spirit. So again, just saving a little time in the Ice Caverns by doing little bomb jumps instead of pushing this block around. It looks a little slow standing there doing all this, but it is a little quicker.
Yeah, it is quicker, especially since you can't one cycle the block. You have to push it in and reset it at one point if you're going to do it the normal way.
So we are a little over 2 hours in, everybody. If you haven't already, make sure you stand up, do a little stretching, drink a little water.
2 hours in, 1 medallion. Oh boy.
We got 5 dungeons to go. But we are, I think on Zoopal's side, we are what? We're just 1 item away from every dungeon. Well, except for Jabu. We're about to.
Oh, there's Requiem. Okay.
There's Requiem.
Which one's better right now? I guess Requiem's the nicer one to get. You can.
Yeah.
You still need a mirror shield, though. What's good to know, though, is mirror shield is not in the toilet.
That's true, because our spirit temple is blocking a couple more songs. Our last
can't actually, Shadahan, we can't actually beat spirit right now. We don't have a mirror shield, so it doesn't get us another song.
Oh, I didn't know about that handy little jump on the side on Daredevil's screen. You know, grabbing the magic in that corner and then just jumping on up. So I don't think there's much here for Daredevin. Daredevin just praying for that mirror shield, right? Like every single time, every chest, like just give me the mirror shield so I can full. Just give me the mirror shield.
Well, he's also hoping he's not key locked. He doesn't know whether or not. He
right. Yeah, that'd be something to get a mirror shield. And like,
if I'm Devin, I'm like, I want make me key locked right now. I have Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know now if I'm gonna have to come back as a child. He was already here.
Right. Both of our runners hoofed it over here.
They went through the wasteland.
So this is our second trip. Potentially, we'll need a third trip with that for that mirror shield. So Zoopal doing this handy little side jump, boomerang throw, skipping a whole big climb, as we're gonna see the Baronade fight. And
that throw is not as forgiving as it looks. It is surprisingly a tight window to get that throw.
No, yeah, it's a rough one. And then, gosh, when you miss a throw with the boomerang too, it just it feels like it takes forever for that thing to come back, right? It's got to go its full trajectory, turn around. So he's gonna throw it and gets knocked by the jellies. We do have, is that double nut upgrade for Zoopal?
It is. He has found all the nuts, all the bows, all the slingshots.
Zoopal's getting everything this game, guys. As Daredevin continuing through the Spirit Temple. There is this little invisible hand that keeps trying to hit you, but you can really just keep pushing the mirror around and it'll try and attack you during the cutscene, which if it hits you, that's fine. You know, you're just pushing it anyway. Once you start the push, it keeps going. And we're just kind of retreading old ground here. Nothing new.
Zoopal picked up his double damage, double defense.
Both runners picking it up. You know, both saying, you know what? I like the little border around my hearts. So the biggest thing still are the iron boots and the long shot for DareDevin, which are on Big Pose and Lost Woods Bombable Grotto.
Devin taking a moment, thinking to himself, all right, what now? You see him looking at his song progression, like, okay, so Spirit's blocking what now?
Gosh, that was you almost wish there wasn't a way of the hero GTG hint, right? When you're when you check it twice like that, you're like, I mean, you probably end up doing it anyway, but you feel like it's just tugging at you. So I wonder what I do think hammer is a good bet. We could see
hammer or Kokiri sword, I think. Yeah. Those are the most likely ones.
Or it'll be something silly like a scale, and there's something on the
diving minigame was already checked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zoopal did that. You can do it without. Logically, you need the scales. You can do it without. You iron boot down. You hookshot the box, and it tricks the game into thinking you dove.
Yeah, you know, the old man, his eyesight's not that great. He sees you go down. He just assumes you swam down and touched it. Although I do wonder with those iron boots, right? Like, you're carrying them around and they don't weigh you down, but when you put them on, they weigh you down. So do they not weigh anything when you're not carrying them?
Hammer space, baby.
Magic things? So, jumping off there. Zoopal, I think we're going to see a skull mask check coming up here. As we're still looking for a few items here. Got some dungeons. I guess Zoopal just wants to knock out the rest of these kid checks before checking Ganon's castle.
Yeah, you don't want to become a kid again. You're just waiting on Kokiri sword. Nothing really feels good. He doesn't have Requiem like Devin does, so he's not going to go Child Spirit. This is just, let's hope I find a Kokiri sword so I can get this over with.
Yeah. Because there is something where, you know, sometimes you might go, because it is right by the Deku Tree as well. So it is just convenient. It's like, let me go check these locations. Because if what I need is there, that's just like the best routing you could imagine, right? So check the Skull Mask. So DareDevin doesn't have the hook shot, so we got to climb this up the slow way. Which, if you move from one little slidey block to the next while it's moving, it throws you off, sends you all the way down. You feel like an idiot. You wonder what went wrong in your life to lead you to this point. But, you know, our runners are better than that. So, with the one medallion lead, some item leads, what do you think? What do you think is going to be next for DareDevin?
He's going to wind up hitting that floundering point. I can't think of a good logical place for him to go next. He's going to... I could tell that he's right now just thinking, Okay. What do I do now?
Like, taking a second. Check it. Do you move your Ferrero's Wind from GTG to the Spirit Temple? Do you go back there right now? All right, so we're going to
Going
teleport.
He doesn't have irons. He didn't really check adult. He didn't check adult fishing. He didn't do anything with the lab, so he's probably thinking, okay, I'll just do river checks now.
Yeah. Head back over to Lake Hylia, which we know is nothing, but that is the burden of knowing everything here, right? You watch these runners, you all know it's silly.
Whoa.
Yeah,
he
he's just gonna
out of a wall. That was impressive.
The trusty steed. As we start heading back over, probably that Lake Hylia. Maybe a big Poe just shows up along the way, right? Get that one.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. Grab the big Poe on your way.
Although the long shot doesn't actually do anything for us yet without those iron boots.
No iron boots on Devin.
Which, if Devin forgot that grotto, which, I mean, I don't know how you pass it if you're, you go through there once, you go through there again, you think you've already been there, maybe. So we'll just, we'll see. As Zoopal's going to go open up our wonderful way to see Ganon. Oh, also checking some overworld grottos. Devin hasn't checked these as well. This would be a smart play.
Yeah, grottos always feel so weird around in when you have so many warp songs, but you do have to do them. They're usually they're sphere 1 or sphere 0 in one case. Just get them over with.
Yeah, with how fast we got that bomb bag too. Which this can be one of the hardest parts of Zooter running is when you've gotten items, but then you haven't gotten anything for a long time. It's just like keeping on going, thinking, all right, going to your next location, hoping something turns up. Because you can't get those little droughts sometimes.
Devin, sorry, gonna interrupt here to shout out to the fact that we now have a Boost the Stream challenge that just started about a minute ago here. So, chat, if you want to if you have nothing to do with the channel points, put some channel points towards boosting the stream. If we hit our 397 channel point reward goal within the next 2 days, we will get promoted higher on Twitch. So, get your points in. You can contribute up to 2,000 points per stream. So, and at it.
Please do it, guys. There's really nothing you want. You don't want to suffer having our wonderful restreamers roll you seeds like this.
Who knows? Maybe that'll boost the quality of seeds we get as well, right?
What else are you guys spend those channel points on? Let's boost this up.
As here are the light trial checks. The first one's the Megaton Hammer. There we go. We got another dungeon down for Zoopal.
Oh, right. That is really big. That just pulls Zoopal into a huge... He already had a lead, in my opinion. This is huge. And Din's Fire. Okay.
And Din's Fire. That's dungeons. We're just waiting on Mirror Shield and Deku Sword.
Yeah.
Whichever. I don't even know. Shoot.
The Deku Sword might as well be the name of it because that's its only use.
Daredevin is getting that big Poe and save and quitting. We're going to see a long shot on his screen shortly. So we're clearing out. Light Trials are where it's at. I called Light Trials. We're going to be barren. I may have been wrong.
Just slightly.
Take full responsibility.
Leave it to Light Trial. Leave it for Ganon's Castle in general having stuff when we only get our second medallion over 2 hours into the seed.
Yeah. So we are not clearing out the rest of Ganon's. We're going right now to Nocturne because we know one of the items we need is in that toilet.
yeah, getting your song progression when you can full clear the dungeon is perfectly fine. Just clear this out, do the dungeon at once. You can always go back.
The Kokiri sword. So if you need the Song of Time, the Song of Time is locked behind the Spirit Temple. Our item we need is likely the Kokiri sword in there, right?
The only thing that could be in the toilet at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Kokiri sword or a scale or two a scale leading to Kokiri sword lab. I pretty much have seen everything else, which reminds me popping into chat here. Voice call again here. To say we're gonna open up a bet then for that mirror shield since we pretty much love the Kokiri sword has to be toilet locked.
Whew. Which of course it is. Of course the most obscure item is in the most obscure location, right?
Yep. So yes, the mirror shield cannot be in the toilet because Song of Time is locked behind the Spirit Temple and this game is beatable. This is not new logic, so the mirror shield can't be there.
The actual twist is, we actually made an unbeatable seed, and we're just gonna watch the runners suffer. That's the actual play.
Yeah.
No.
So, where do you think that mirror shield is? I'm gonna open up the bet here in a second as I try to figure out where I think I want it to be. Alright, let's see. Open bets. I bet is that one room in Shadow Temple.
Room in Shadow Temple. At least you know what that means.
Great links. Check out the OoTRandomizer.com. We have a preset on their website, on our generator for these settings. If you go to ROM options, underneath there is a tab for preset.
Season 4 seeds are wonderful.
Yeah,
please.
This bet will go until Zoopal gets in the boat. Pretty much, I think. Yeah, we'll know to close the bet. Also, shout outs to the fact that you already have 109,000 channel points raised towards 397,000. Thank you a lot, chat.
Hey, good job, everybody.
I got 110,000. This has only been open for a couple of minutes, and we are already a quarter of the way there. Woohoo!
All right, so where did you bet for Mirror Shield?
Where could that shield? What is the most obscure location we haven't checked yet? I think, you know what? It's in Water Temple. That's my guess.
Water Temple Central Pillar?
Water Temple Central Pillar. Yeah.
You feeling it? Okay. I bet highest Goron in fire.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
Because if you find the boss key, you have hover boots, you're just going to jump down there and beat the boss. So going all the way back up just to get the Mirror Shield feels so bad that it's going to be there.
Devin is going back to the Lost Woods here. If Devin gets those iron boots, go do Water Temple, go get their items again. It's Castle. Devin's right back in this. A little behind, but if this is a wild goose chase for that Mirror Shield, it's anybody's game still. Even though we know where all the items, but one of them is, but until we know where that one item is, who knows?
It'd be a decision like skipping Central Pillar, like that type of choice.
Mirror Shield could be in Ganon's castle as well. We didn't full clear it.
Not full cleared. Nope.
Which I completely see. Leaving it, you get Megaton Hammer and Din's Fire back to back. Go do some dungeons. You'll probably find what you need along the way. But there we go. There are the Iron Boots by DareDevin.
Glad he remembered that.
Oh, that's a big one.
Just the fact that he remembered that he missed that check is pretty big.
That's a big play. Do you know how many of these runners do you know? Do you play with an actual tracker, tracking each location by location, or how many of them just they played this game a million times? They don't need the little tooltip.
Well, we know that the runners here aren't using a location tracker. Like they're, we can see their personal trackers, so we know what they write down. Personally, I don't use a location tracker. I generally use an auto tracker because I'm bad and I don't race that often with official seeds. So
why not?
I don't know.
I mean, why not use it if you're not raising an official seed? Those auto trackers save you some clicks.
Yeah, I'm better off with the auto tracker. I'm terrible. So,
which if you're new, especially, I'd recommend using a location tracker. They all of this looks very intimidating. Like, how do they know where every single item is? Well, there are some handy tools made by the community that lets you that sort of puts a map of Hyrule out there, puts the location of every item, and you can kind of mark them off as you go along, which makes this much more approachable for new runners.
Another fun way to learn locations, you could always watch some of the great archived 100% runs that people have done over the years. I don't recommend the most current ones because there have been some leaps and bounds in speedrunning in Ocarina of Time that have made the routing and finding items a little bizarre, and you might not actually see items being picked up in their actual locations. But things like Runner Guy's old 100% run from AGDQ years ago gives a really nice showcase as to all the locations that major items can be in.
Mm-hmm. So Daredevin is checking, doing a few more kid checks before going to that water temple, which will give Daredevin another. Daredevin doesn't know it's a strength 3 in there, but does know it'll be likely the next medallion we see. Just gonna knock out Kid Lake Hylia, which who knows? Maybe the mirror shield's there.
I'm pretty sure in his mind it's a long shot that it's there. It doesn't really feel like you have child fishing. That's pretty much it.
You got Top of the Lab. Have we seen that yet? As an adult, but they might, you might need Pierre or a bean to get to.
Didn't he plant beans for that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Just without Serenade and without a scale, Lake Hylia is about as... Might as well not even be in this game without out of the way it is. So we're gonna see that was a shield there. What was that? What's that?
Not sure.
Looked like some kind of shield. Maybe a Hyrule shield, a mirror shield. Who knows? I'm definitely not good enough to see it. That looked like mirror. All right.
You never know what the color of the mirror shield will look like because that could be shuffled and randomized as well.
Yeah, I just saw the back of it, which is
don't be afraid. You have the hardware for it. If you can run Twitch streams, you can run an emulator that can play these ROMs. It is super lightweight.
Shape was wrong for Hylian. Well, I like it. I like the little confusion of if it's a Hylian shield or if it's a mirror shield, Because in that case, we could get a scale. If it is our mirror shield, it could be a scale in Gerudo Trading Grounds as well. We might need 2 more items. Usually plays with a silver board. Oh, good knowledge there, King Mach.
But it wouldn't work because scale in toilet would still be mirror locked.
Right. That has to. It could be a scale. We need a scale in addition to the mirror. You're right.
Yeah. So we need to find a scale to come back to child to get the mirror shield to then clear spirit. It has to be Kokiri Sword in toilet. There's no other way.
Mm-hmm. And we did see our last bottle on Daredevin's side. So between our 2 runners, we've seen pretty much every major item except, the ones they wish they had. As per usual, Shadow Temple so far has had nothing. It's like one of the most dense dungeons you're going to find, and the amount of times it just doesn't have anything.
Of course it has nothing. It's a medallion. It only has everything you need when it's a stone.
As we are taking a wonderful scenic boat ride.
The truth is not part of the route. It cannot be Way of the Hero.
We
Okay,
all
I goofed and accidentally cleared the bet, so we're doing a rebet. Whoops!
rebet. You know, if you regretted your decision, now's the time. Now to change it up. You know.
Apologies, Chip, but I figured I might just restart it because we haven't seen it, and yeah. Whoops! I meant to do this. Frogs 2 is hinted dead, so yeah, have at it. I goofed and we can restart.
See, Lord of Spell knows. Stone Shadow has hammer. Yep, it'll only have items if it's stone.
We can't make it too easy here. That big skull head loves to block you running across that bridge. I swear, they were just like, let's just make this thing comically large. It's just enormous, right? Have it block everything. So we're up to 13 hearts for Daredevin.
So, I forgot to say, I will close this bet once Bongo goes down for Zoopal.
It feels bad that you have to do these checks, but you are missing a key anyway, so it's not too terrible.
Mm-hmm. You know, we're full clearing every other dungeon anyway, so at this point, it's almost expected for the runners. I think we are going to see...
If it was Go Mode, if there was a mirror shield already on Zoopal, he would have... Actually, yeah, no, he has a training ground hint. He wouldn't have even done this, but he still has one more check he has to do.
So we are going farther in as a kid. Check those checks you need fire for. Since it doesn't have dins yet.
Boy, spirit key logic working. Actually, that is technically out of logic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those two torches require a fire source, and for some reason, jumping down there with a Deku stick doesn't count in the current rando.
Huh. You know?
I don't know why.
It's a bit of a hike, you know? I remember I've been there assuming I needed one, and then I was like, oh wait, there's a torch here. I didn't know, so I assume it's for people like me. Who
Start with the good answer. Fire source or 5 keys because it assumes you're a moron. Yes.
Like I said, people like me. We are so this one, and then also there's one other room we're gonna check that you hate having to grab all of the silver rupees to open up. As Zoopal makes his way over to Bongo. We also I have a hot take for the Shadow Temple. I would rate it both creepy and cool. It gets both gross and cool.
It's a graveyard it's a mausoleum, so it's like really freaky. And the music, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, top tier boss and Bongo. I mean, we don't see him much. Bongo just got completely wrecked. But beautiful flame storage on Daredevin's side to skip having to collect all those rupees. We're gonna grab that chest. Hope it's something we need, because the mirror shield could be anywhere. We could see it on Bongo right now.
French vanilla mirror shield right now. It's not though.
And our Bongo prize is a heart container. We're leaving that heart container. Is 12 hearts enough? I mean, probably. But
24 hearts at this point. You got double defense.
have we checked Kuko's? Or have gotten a hint from them?
Nope.
Whew. That's a hint.
No chickens have been touched.
That we might be seeing on Daredevin's side right now.
Desperation play, but you never know.
You see a lot of runners are gonna skip these. It's a long time.
Chickens, everyone. He's making it daytime.
It's a long time for one check, but you know what? It's a check that is available as soon as you hit play. So There could always be something here. I am a little surprised seeing chickens before the water temple.
I have irons.
But he went back and got irons.
Oh, oh yeah, he does have irons now. Oh, he's child. He doesn't want to do it. Come back as child again.
Gotcha. He's valuing that potential time savers. I guess it's a little more thorough. It pays out if you don't get anything anywhere. I think I could see either side just saying, you know what, I'm gonna be an adult. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get in there. I think if he knew Strength 3 was in water, we'd see that faster play to go clear Ganon's castle. As we got Fire Temple on Zoopal's side.
Against for fire arrows. Let's see it again.
Oh gosh.
I'd be down for shuffling the number of chickens. Not bringing it down to 1. Still make it a time investment, but you never know. Sometimes 7, sometimes 1. Just a lot.
If it's shuffled, do you still have to talk to her every time? Because if you don't know how many.
She'll just tell you I'm missing 4 chickens or missing 3.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you'd have to, like, you know, even if it's randomized, but it's still 7, so you turn 1 in and talk to. No, still haven't gotten me enough. That guy's just messing out all of his routing, all of his rolling, all of his jumping. He just wants to talk to the carpenter. We do get an early boss key.
Okay, boss key vanilla. Do you still do deep fire? You're missing your mirror shield. How high do you go?
Right? Like what is the next play if Volvagia gives you like a key? Something.
Yeah, Volvagia. No, there's actually a key in here. So Volvagia does still have to give you a key. Yeah, it has to be a key for Volvagia. We know that. Zoopal doesn't.
Like where else would you go if you're looking for your mirror shield? Maybe stick around and fire, go back in. But you know you got to beat the boss anyway. You might as well do it while you're right next to the boss. So, you know, in case you get key locked, which we know he will get. As we're concluding our quest to collect every chicken in the world. Does it pay off?
Slingshot.
You know, that's that. We haven't seen the 3rd slingshot yet. I guess that's.
Of course, it's slingshot.
That hurts. That hurts. So Daredevin, become an adult now. We might not see a kid for a long time again. Just where is that mirror sheet? Also, I can't explain exactly how this works, but these bomb strats do help out by dropping bombs on Volvagia. Do you know more about this?
I do. There's actually 2 Volvagias in this room. There is the one that flies around, and then there's the one you play whack-a-mole with. Both are vulnerable to explosions, strangely enough. And the one that flies around the room always spawns in the closest hole to the entrance. So you can bomb that hole, damage the second Volvagia, and then just stall for time by only hammering once and not then actually damaging Volvagia for the one that pops out. So you do 9 explosions, and then, or 7 explosions if you have the Big Goron sword, and you damage it all the way down to essentially 1 shot from the sword to finish it off.
There you go. It's a handy little trick. Daredevin heading to the southeast grotto there in Hyrule Field. Whereas Zoopal, where's now? You're looking for 1 item. Could be anywhere. You got that hammer.
Not going to do anything deeper. I guess checking the fairy fountain is quicker.
Now, we did get Death Mountain Crater Way of the Hero.
Yeah, we were thinking that it's Dora Tunic, but this is possible. Will this be the one time these fairies are useful?
I thought Daredevil was going to do horse race. I'd love to see the horse race, just for fun.
How mode is not
Yes.
on. Recovery heart. And
Recovery heart.
don't let me down.
Perfect.
Oh, this is fantastic.
I think that if it's a race that's too close to call, I think they should just have to do the horse race. Fastest time in the horse race. We're moving through Goron City. We're not doing any checks here. We're just passing on through. Still looking for the mirror shield. Deku sword, well, the Kokiri sword is pretty much guaranteed to be in the toilet. Which, of course, the one when something is in the toilet, our Song of Time is nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm. So Zoopal's realizing, okay, I need to do ice at this point. This is the only play I have, even though Deeper Fire is still a play. I can understand not feeling it.
Because you also don't have that Requiem yet. So this is a thing where, you get your Requiem for when you do eventually get it. Maybe Mirror Shield's there, so you're just like, bada bing, bada boom, 2 for 1.
And this is your Song of Time, and that Mirror Shield is in the toilet. Right.
There's a lot of great opportunities. We know it's just Requiem, but it's a great play by Zoopal. Daredevin, I'm curious to see if Daredevin will go farther in, although I think getting that Strength 3 and a second medallion, we'll see Daredevin bounce out and then probably follow Zoopal's path. Zoopal's got a couple dungeon lead right now, but if Zoopal goes back and does chickens, if it turns into a mad hunt, he hasn't done Child Spirit. Nope. Zoopal has not done Child Spirit because he does not have the
Lead looks a little bit more skewed by medallions than it really is, just because Evan did Child Spirit, which is a whole bunch of extra, and has already done the Ice Cavern. So
and has gone a little farther into the Fire Temple, just a little bit, but that will, if you gotta go back, that'll save a little time too.
This was rolled by Din.
I think this is a wonderful little seed here. I think we've got, we were like, we don't want this to be over too long, so it was looking like a jet all dungeon, like about as fast an all dungeon seed as you could do based off of the start, just giving us everything we needed.
And then it is a toilet Way of the Hero ETG.
We got a toilet Way of the Hero and a Mirror Shield nowhere to be found, which is, that's rando, baby. Sometimes you're just gonna be stuck for a little bit. So we're gonna see. That's where the second Deku Nut upgrade was. All right, I was wondering. I didn't record that one. It's the most important item you're gonna find, because Deku Nuts are cool. Although Sheik Deku Nuts are way better than Link Deku Nuts, right? Like Sheik shows up and just like pieces out with them.
Oh, that's Link getting stunned.
Yeah.
You don't realize you see it until you recover.
I guess Link, when he throws a Deku Nut, he does kind of look away from it too. They did get that in there. I'm curious to see how far in Water Temple will go. I think Devin's feeling a little behind, so I'd imagine you're just kind of, I don't know, like, do you do the obvious play, which is just to come back later when you've run out of other locations, or do you just say, you know what, if I'm behind, I'm willing to bet that person like just go moded Water Temple and got out. Maybe there's another item in here for me. Which, how many items count-wise have we seen? We've seen a couple. We've seen most of the items in Water Temple.
I've seen a good portion of them, but I don't remember Zoopal going after Dark Link. Because he couldn't get to River afterwards, no Song of Time, so it's only one extra check that way.
Yeah.
So Zoopal saw 3 items in water.
Interesting. As DareDevin's about to go pick up, I believe this was the Strength 3 in the boss key chest. With this handy little, like, do you want to run around, push a boulder for a while, or push a block for a while, or just skip to the end of this little chamber? You just skip over there with the hover boots. No problem.
Now, if you're Devin thinking logically, you just full clear it because you know the mirror shield can't be in the river chest. You go after Shadow, you go for the long shot chest and do it. Because the mirror would be locked behind Twin Rova if it was in the river chest. So,
oh, that is a good point. DareDevin is going back up. Looks like we're raising the water to the top floor. Oh, no, we are doing more checks first. Because, yeah, we don't have the boss key. What am I talking about, everybody? You know? We're doing that thing where we just start talking and we don't know where we're going again. But we are, you know, eventually we will run out of locations to check. So we will find the mirror shield eventually.
Between these two runners, they know the location of everything in the game. If we have to 100% this seed, they're going to do it.
Which is impressive how fast. If we're like, oh yeah, you actually have to do all that. We changed the parameters. You have to do literally everything. They're like, okay, yeah, just knock it out.
We just had a run the other night that still sub 4 hours, but between both runners, we saw 100% of the checks in the game.
Oh,
besides the...
I believe we do have a hint. Frogs 2 is...
Frogs 2 is already hinted dead.
We're getting a few more checks here by DareDevin. This could
You doing Central Pillar? He's doing Central Pillar.
Yeah. DareDevin's best bet is if it's in the water temple, is if the mirror shield's in there. Or, you know, wherever we can get that shield, I guess. The more obscure the better for Devin. Assuming Devin goes the obscure spot. If Devin just follows Zoopal's path, we're looking at a little bit of a lead here for Zoopal. As these rocks, expertly done. These rocks loved if they get close and they start turning back into spiky balls, and then you're just shooting them back into rocks where other ones turn into it. A lot of these rooms can quickly turn into a mess if you play it wrong at the start.
Especially since you're working on a time limit here. If you run out of... You don't take damage, you just die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a key.
So do we go to Dark Link?
Trying to do a little bit of math here. I think there has to... Well, it doesn't have to be an item on Dark Link. It could be an item in the river chest, but just a junk item.
True. As Zoopal is back in Ganon's castle, we're going to clear out the rest of it. Go check out that water trial. Which water trial loves to have something in one of these two chests.
What water trial?
Or ice trial. Whatever. There we go. You'd think it'd be a water theme because you get the water medallion, but nope, it's all ice.
We have wind trial, fire trial, ice trial, shadow trial, heat trial.
We're not going over to Dark Link. We're going right to the boss right now. As we're
Zoopal not check validation chest, as far as I know.
As what's behind the first shadow trial? A silver scale. Beautiful. Surprisingly light first scale. What could I say?
Was that the is that scale for the mirror shield in child at the letter location?
I was just went back to not knowing because I felt like none of us were 100% sure. But okay, that was 100% mirror. Okay. That is huge.
Zoopal's never been there.
He hasn't. That I mean, I guess I could see going kid at some point, but that could put him off, which is a big thing. If Daredevin goes in here right after this, gets a scale, gets the hammer, gets Din's fire, he's pretty much in no mode at that point, where he knows where everything is.
Kokiri sword has to be behind the toilet. There's no other testator. We haven't. We think the mirror is in Lake Hylia. We didn't get a good look at it, but people are saying that they think it is.
In chat, we trust.
Rudo's letter location. So it can't be in the toilet because it would be locked behind Song of Time, which requires beating Spirit Temple to get.
Shoot the sun to see the most magnificent Deku Stick, or possibly Deku Stick upgrade.
I think it's the upgrade. We haven't gotten upgrades. All the upgrades, right?
Oh, that's true. So will Daredevin get that? No, I'm joking. We all know.
Go 2 scales.
2 scales. In case you didn't get the hint the first time, Zoopal, go check Lake Hylia.
He's playing Prelude. He's going to check Lake Hylia now.
Oh, that's gonna be big. That'll put us on our item chain to close out the season.
Yeah, that would be no move. That's everything.
Of course, also being rude, we don't have Serenade, so we'll hike over there. Lab Dive is also in Logic, yeah.
He already did Lab Dive, though. He did it as with hook shot. Yeah, you can do some fancy Lost Woods warping here to get there pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
never been there.
Child spirit.
He never went to the lake, so he didn't see it in the water.
No,
okay.
No, I thought maybe we're gonna go kid just because, right? Like you can do that. You can do kid fishing there if he hasn't done. I don't think he's done anything in there. No, of course he has. If he had been there, he would know that it's there. So, I gotta imagine we'll see the play soon, but
I'm wondering if we're all just collectively mistaken about that being the mirror shield.
So Daredevin is skipping the spirit trial here, going right to the light trial. Will Daredevin make the same play Zoopal did in getting the Megaton Hammer and Din's Fire, which lets you beat 2 whole dungeons and just getting out of here?
I feel like he's behind. We're almost on the 3-hour mark. I could see him making that same play.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't tended to be incredible. Well, he has been thorough with but he still didn't do Dark Link, so
we will we'll see. We'll find out very shortly. I mean, he's clearing out the rest of this room regardless.
Yeah, you don't leave this room without opening up every chest, but
it's always nice to put the small key in here as well. Man, loaded light trial, loaded market this seed.
This whole seed's pretty much beaten by not leaving Castletown.
You just want to be here as long as possible. So I think if we do go to full clear of this place, I think after you get that first scale,
he's warping out.
He's leaving.
He's doing fire. He's okay. He cleared a bit more of fire. He got the Deathbound Crater Way of the Hero hint.
Right, he's gonna go check that one out.
Yeah, he's double checking this.
Which makes sense, especially when you've just got a Tunic from here. Tunic and Saria Song, which Saria Song turned up nothing, right? We've had Minuet for forever.
Yeah, it wasn't Saria Song. It's the Zora's Tunic is the Way of the Hero item, but
oh wow. Because not only that, if he had gotten that scale, knowing Mirror Shield is in Lake Hylia, you could just go mode every single dungeon then from there on out, right? You just know where everything you need is. We are climbing up as a kid, right? This is so both of our runners have done 3 trips to the Spirit Temple so far, right?
And they're gonna need to do another
for quad dip and Spirit. If you count the first just jumping in, jumping out to get a song as a dip, I consider it, but I guess I could see it.
You made the trip, which is all that really matters.
If you just had to play the song, maybe not, but when you make the trip, I'll count it. So Daredevin gets, we know it is vanilla boss key in the Fire Temple.
He's not going to go deep fire. I don't see it happening. He'll do spirit. He'll do shadow before he does deep fire.
Mm-hmm. He'll probably go back to Ganon's castle too. Before you go 2D, especially having already done those first 2 chests right outside of here. Everything else is just a big time sink. I do like the amount of times we're like, possible side, and we're all varying degrees of confident in the mirror shield. I'm going full in. I'm saying the mirror shield's in like Hylia now, but
well, I still bet on highest Goron, so I'm betting against it.
It was a Hylian shield the whole time. I think we've also seen a couple of Hylian shields too. So
we've seen 2, I think, right after Devin bought the shield. So
right, which is how you know it can't be, because we bought the shield, so we got all the Hylian shields quickly. But so we're just doing checks we've seen before. Where is Zoopal off to now?
Chickens.
Oh, we're doing chickens.
Zoopal's doing chickens.
We're doing chicken. This 1 chicken wasn't enough. We got 2 chicken for you. I mean, advantage still Zoopal, but I mean, I don't know what to believe. I mean, Zoopal will run out of checks, I feel like, in time, because you gotta make your way over to Lake Hylia eventually. But if you ever wanted to know how to do chickens as fast as possible, watch this. You know, it doesn't look like what you'd think. You gotta throw some nuts around a little bit, herd these chickens.
Devin's doing this with bombs instead of bomb chews. I thought he usually does it with bomb chews, but hey, it's a little bit slower that way. But you got Tunic; it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. If you're comfortable, more comfortable with bombs than you are with bomb chews, I'd say just, you know, it's a little faster with the bomb chews, but just do what you're comfortable with at this point. The conspiracy theory about the mirror shield. Like, what if the mirror shield... You guys still think the mirror shield is even in this game? It's not. We took it out. I guess the bigger question is, how many heart containers are we going to hit? We're up to 15.
We already ignored 2 of them.
Right. This is...
So that's a lot of pieces of heart have been found.
This is something. Although Deku Tree is going to be Go moded, which Go mode Deku Tree is...
Yeah, with Din's Fire, you can just skip the entire dungeon, so...
Why can't... That's a good point, Lord of the Spell. I think we should consider just polishing our shield as much as possible. You know, we just need to reflect a few things.
Kylie is real as Finland. I agree. Finland doesn't exist.
So that's another dungeon.
You met anyone from Finland? I've never met anyone from Finland. I don't think it actually exists.
I hear about it, but like I've never seen it. Right? Ignorant American me. But... So that's 3 medallions now. 3 more to go for Daredevin. We're headed over to Shadow as our next stop. If you didn't get spooked enough your first time, we got Spooky Shadow again.
I also think that the supposed population of Finland is within those margin of error for the population of the world as we count it. So more evidence Finland doesn't exist.
As there is another slingshot. As we're going back to being an adult. No Lake Hylia yet. I can't wait. I hope the people in chat who right away were like, no, that was a mirror shield in Lake Hylia. I hope if that's verified, I hope they pop off. I want to see it in chat. I want to see all that. I told you so. I knew it. Like strut around, because this is one of the biggest conspiracy theories I've seen in a while.
If Devin just got the scale, if he just went the other way, and just done those other checks first, but
right, he didn't even do the spirit trial on the way over. He just went straight to the light trial, grabbed a couple items, and got out of there. So I think that's why I think after Shadow, I think we'll see him go over there. So we are warping with Ferrero's Wind, which now you're running around, you're looking for things, you haven't found anything. You have no idea what's happening in the scene. You're like, if you're Zoopal's part, you're like, I've made all these plays. I'm looking for that needle in the haystack. I don't know. You just keep going. Where is he going from here, adult side? Is he headed over to Lake Hylia as an adult? Or these hammer rocks.
Hammer rocks. Okay.
All right.
Hammer rocks, then probably checking deep water.
That is what I would guess, right? You're over here anyway.
You have 2 checks that he hasn't done in deep water. One was Central Pillar, the other one Dark Link.
So depending on Shadow Temple's going to take us a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Daredevin go back to Ganon's Castle after Shadow Temple here. If you grab that scale, which, costs you a little bit of time having to go back and grab it, but if you go right back, I think we're great. As Zoopal is missing the slingshot here behind the waterfall. So we're also,
100%ing it. Just might as well grab it anyway, right? You never know when you need. You might miss Goma 49 times. You never know.
Especially if you're out. I know we got the nut upgrade as well, but you might run out of nuts too on the way there. All right. We thought about not picking it up. You know what? We're just gonna grab it.
Nut upgrade you always pick up. Deku nuts are super useful all throughout the game.
So are we just missing a bomb upgrade on Zoopal's side?
I think we're missing. Yeah, he never got the Pierre bomb bag.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So that will be the one item left off of Zoopal's tracker, except for...
I think he's still only on 1 bomb, right? Oh, no, he got that one. Okay, never mind. 2. Yeah, he got that one. Okay.
But unless... So if Song of Time is on the Kakariko Village song, needing 3 medallions, that's when... Well, I'd assume... Which song do you check first after you finish Spirit Temple? Do you go to the Kakariko, or you go to... You go back to the Temple Time, right? And then you warp over if you still need it.
I do Temple of Time because it That's actually a good question.
Right? Right? Because you teleport there, you instantly get a song, right? And then you can just Nocturne. But
it's the same amount of time, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. It's really...
You have both warp songs. It's nothing real. It's not even a consideration.
We are checking our wasteland chest. So we will see what we've got here. Will it be some arrows? Yes, it will be.
Some pointy sticks, and that's it.
As back over to Death Mountain Crater. I think we're going farther in the Fire Temple. Ooh, this is just what Daredevin needs. This
This is a deep fire play too. Like he's probably not just gonna do like 2 or 3 checks and bail. He's gonna go pretty far.
This is making it a little closer, guys.
Deep fire always finds a way.
I don't know what to believe anymore. You know, Zoopal, gosh, I don't even know how many checks Zoopal has left. Outside of just
this is rough. This is a lower bracket match too. So
yeah, loser goes home.
Whoever loses this, this is gonna feel really bad to lose on this type of seed.
Yeah, we turn in your gun and badge, and you're done.
Because whatever it comes down to, if Zoopal loses out, it's because he didn't visit the lake as a child and look there, unless we were all collectively mistaken. Which it could happen.
Right? Lake Hylia, no good spawn spot nearby. No serenade.
No serenade, which is just awful. But then you have Devin on the other side missing out because of the grotto, and then not grabbing the scales, even though he knows where it is. It's so bad.
It's a bit of a rough one. Yeah, it's a messy seed. I see all the plays everybody's making, and it's just one of those things where they look right, but sometimes Rando's just gonna Rando, right?
Yeah.
Zoopal falling off. We're gonna hook shot back up.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad since you have the long shot here. So.
The amount of times I've been knocked off of this block by one of these bats on the way riding it up, like, gives me PTSD. Like, I worry every time I see somebody jump on that block. So Daredevin restarting there, jumping out. We're continuing through Shadow. So how long these dungeons take? It's a bit. I don't know the most of. What are our times going to look like when Daredevin's leaving Shadow Temple? Will Zoopal be done with fire here and moving on, or will I don't know, how close are they to getting out of their respective dungeon?
It's a little hard to say. They're probably about equal. I think Devin's gonna probably finish a little bit quicker, but it's what's going to dictate it is how many keys Zoopal finds. If he finds all of his item chests, his possible 6 items in this dungeon, he's just going to book it. I'm sure he's trying to keep track at this point. Every key that he finds, though, is disappointing because it just means you have to go a little bit higher.
So we're going to keep running around in here. Again, Daredevin knows what we know about that mirror shield, or who knows? Maybe Daredevin's just as is a non-believer as some of us are about the mirror shield. But I think we've just agreed. I think if that wasn't the mirror shield, we have willed it into existence. It's the mirror shield.
At this point, it has to be, right?
The sheer number of checks that are left, it has to be.
Highest score on, still on the table.
So we are, I don't know.
The most disappointing part about that is how low in the spheres the mirror shield actually is for checks. It's only 2 medallions. It wasn't hard locked behind... because of Jabu and Water, it wasn't hard locked behind Strength 3 or anything like that. It was in validation. One of the scales was in validation chest. You could have easily gotten that pretty quick.
And yeah, we got one player missing the scales with the knowledge, the other player with the scales missing the knowledge. I don't know. This is one of the more interesting things that happens in randomizers, where either both players are looking for an item the other one has, or some have the knowledge involved.
So
It's
just
because
how
it's also
yeah.
a lot of times you love to be able to root in like the Gerudo Valley checks with Lake Hylia sometimes as a kid, right? If you check those, but they got to do Gerudo Valley as an adult this time, which is just another reason to just not go Lake Hylia as a kid, which just puts it farther and farther off. Oh man, that floating saw Link had those hover boots on. Was like, I'm gonna try that too. I'm just gonna hover in air here, work it out.
Also, because Devin doesn't know where the scales are, he's gonna still play a little deeper than he has to with his dungeon. One key past the boat would have been enough. He's gonna do an extra check, and he falls in the water. It's okay. This jump is a little annoying.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the most disappointing thing when you see Link not even do the full jump and just kind of like hop off to his own death. All right, we're playing it safe. We're just hook shot up there.
I wonder if he's gonna skip this fight, or if he's actually gonna fight the Stalfos.
I vote fight the Stalfos, right? You're not. I mean, if you want to take a little break, you've been running for over 3 hours now. Get a drink.
Just stand on that black platform, and they'll just fall right off.
Mm-hmm. So if you need to put the controller down, stretch your hands a little bit, maybe, right? Have a drink. I mean, these runners are going to be having a drink and something after this race, regardless. This is it's a brutal seat. As we got,
Yep, they can't hit you up here, and if you're a little bit lower, they'll walk right off the edge.
So Zoopal's going back to being a kid. Is this it? Is this our Lake Hylia play?
I think it has to be.
I don't know where else.
Another check. Child fishing is the only thing he probably hasn't thought of yet.
It's at least they haven't started checking their foolish locations. That's when you start doubting your own hints.
There they go.
There they go.
This is the quick way back to Lake Hylia.
He's going to use that scale to go to Zora's River, take Zora's River to the domain over to Lake Hylia. Frogs 2, I could dream. If he did Frogs 2 anyway, that'd probably make my weekend.
Yeah, it's already hinted foolish, and it's not going to happen.
If he does Frogs 2, Daredevin wins this race, guaranteed. But
I don't know. Daredevin has a terrible. He didn't Furor's Wind in GC, as far as I know. He does have Prelude there to get there quick, though. Mm-hmm. He left his Furor's Wind in GTG though, because Way of the Hero. He knows Kokiri Sword has to be there.
I keep thinking like, oh, we're gonna grab this shield and then it's game over. We're done. I'm like, no, wait, we still gotta finish 2 dungeons.
Still have to fight Twin Roba, and we still have to fight Goma. So,
I mean, it's not a season 4 seed if Deku Tree is not the last dungeon you do. Just saying.
What season 4 seeds you've been playing lately?
I don't know. I feel every time I'm just like, all right, where's that little sword? Finish it off.
Yeah, move for me. Jeez.
Are we just looking for mirror? Yep, Felix. We just need that mirror that we're gonna see soon. Coming right into Lake Hylia. Sword is toilet. Yep. So, oh! You see the double take? Oh,
saw it. Yeah, the color looks more like it on Zoopal's setup.
There it is. So he's gonna get out of here. The scales were in Ganon's castle. Both of them.
Gotta love it. So
anyone bet on that?
Let's see. So I will go take a look because I was gonna wait to make sure that it was the mirror shield before I closed the bet. In part because I was still dealing with the bot being banned. Actually, XFest, you win by saying diving in Lake Hylia. I don't think you quite necessarily meant the Runa's letter spot. Maybe you meant lab dive, but hey, it works. You win. So that's the premium bets. You win because so you win that because you're technically correct. I mean, it is one of the diving things you do in Lake, even if it's not maybe necessarily the lab dive one. All right, for the other side, manager's office or someplace they haven't checked. I do believe Devin actually peaked that quite a while back. I think before the bet was done, actually. So, you know what? Manager's office wins. Because there isn't actually a new bet lake. On the regular side. So, yeah, well, that's what we're getting.
That's out of hand for that one.
I mean, I could also go with Planet Zeebs, but yeah. That's what we've got. GG's.
So Zoopal is just finishing out some dungeons here. Devin is thinking
Yeah,
where to next.
Yeah, Zoopal's in no mode, but
Yeah, this is likely to be about a 340 seed, it seems, and yeah, it looks like Devin's having a think. Yeah, alright, that's been done, so I am going to go disappear again.
Alright. It was great having you. So he's, listen, you're running this for 3 hours, 15 minutes. Sometimes you just gotta go to the bathroom, alright? Just take a little break. We've been talking about the toilet all day, too.
yes.
Right? This is a true toilet percent seed.
He was exactly where I said it was, so it's good to know that my logic planning in this isn't that bad.
Yeah. So,
let's take this moment. We'll shout out. Have to shout out our trackers who have been with us this whole entire time. Thank you, Chaostics and Winnie the Demon. Thank you, Star, for doing the restream. It's been a disaster that you've been keeping running smooth. I'm glad to know that it's in good hands. Thank you, Din, for rolling this seed. Thanks.
it's definitely a seed. Of the list of things it is, that is one of them.
Shout out to Thojos being my co-commentator for today.
And shout out to Joe Dies at the end being my comment. I could
across the board to everyone. Everyone here deserves it. They're all great.
And our wonderful runners, Zoopal and DareDevinX, for putting on this amazing performance. We talk about some of these things, all of these little tricks, everything they're doing are incredibly hard to pull off, and it's a testament to show just how that even qualifying is.
Getting this far alone is an achievement. There were, I think, 190 people in the race that ran in the qualifiers, maybe more.
It's a lot. A lot of people went in. We got the best 32 of them here on ZeldaSpeedRuns right now. I also agree with chat. I think this is a fake mirror shield. I think it was planted there by aliens. The real mirror shield is still somewhere else in the seed that we're not going to see. I mean, it still works like the mirror shield, but yeah, I'm going to need a certificate of authenticity.
Chimp, the mirror was at the Rudo's letter location.
Which, you don't always see Kid Lake Hylia that late, but when the seed does everything it can to keep you away from it, that's kind of what's going to happen.
Wait, no.
Oh, no.
No. Why, Devin? Why? You were in the building.
Devin said, you know what? I'm just going to clip through the rocks, the blocks at the time somehow. I'm done with this. No. He's going to go check out some hammer rocks, I think, too.
Oh.
I think, I think we're all a little mentally fried.
Real mirror shield are the friends we made along the way.
I don't think I've said the words mirror shield more than I ever have in my life than today. But it's fitting. Given the wonderful seed we've had. We're just gonna do Twin Rova right here, which Twin Rova guaranteed to give you 3 of the same type the first time. She throws them out.
Crouch stabs and Big Orange Sword. It's a pretty easy one cycle. If your rhythm's slightly off, you could wind up hitting some invulnerability frames, which is frustrating. But
or if you do something like you just miss your jump and you fall off the edge or something, you gotta climb up.
there you go.
It's one more dungeon down. We're gonna go get some songs. Get a song at a time. Go grab that Deku stick. Whoa, Deku sword. And I'll eventually close out the seed. But yeah, we still got like 20 minutes.
Just about. Validation chest was already done, so we literally just have to squash a bug, swim in a toilet, squash a bug, beat up some salt and pepper shakers, and then skewer a piggy.
Which, you know, who doesn't want to do that on a Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, wherever you are, morning, noon, or night. Yeah. I think we're done. I think we're gonna end up at that 15 heart containers, though. Sadly, no more. You always love to see. I don't know. I think I've seen 17 heart containers one time, which is a bit excessive.
What you doing?
So
Zoopal's
going to get the song right now, I guess.
There we go.
And the first song is, of course, there it is. All right, we're gonna make you get every song if you want to beat this seed. We're gonna put everything on that tracker.
I was wondering where he was backwalking to. Was he planning on going to GTG without picking up the song? Like,
you know, it wouldn't be. I mean, it sounds like something I would do. But again, I just want to shout out our trackers, Chaosic and Winnie Demon, who have done an amazing job, especially for this race. There's been a lot to track. You guys have been really, if it weren't for them, I would be up here just mumbling nonsense, even more so than I have been.
Yeah, so both scales were in Ganon's castle. One in validation chest, one in ice trial.
Which, you know, we're not seeing. We are going back into Water Temple. I wonder because there are. Yeah, you leave. He's left what 8 checks, I think, or maybe a little less than that in Ganon's castle.
2, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. I lost count.
I try and not do math.
That was 7. I think it's 7 that he missed.
7? Okay. Because Daredevin went straight to light trial, which, like, is usually a safe bet. You go straight to light trial, you get 2 dungeon items you need. That sounds good to me. You'll probably get the other item you need. Like, if you just need a skill, you'll probably find one of them along the way of those 2 dungeons. But
oh yeah, the timing that Devin had for finding those items too is I can completely understand why he didn't finish Gan's castle.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job. Both of these runners have done have made a piece of art out of this mess of a seed, I'd say.
Thanks, Dan.
Is Toilet hinted? Toilet is Gerudo Training Ground is Way of the Hero.
Yeah, Gerudo Training Ground Way of the Hero. So
and we found nothing. Unless we're missing something. But
there's 2 sometimes hints we did not get. So the butter knife is in the toilet. This is guaranteed butter knife. If it's not, I'll have no idea what the logic is.
I'm like, all right, quick, somebody pull up what.
There
what
couldn't be
exactly
anything
did it.
left in the game.
It was that recovery heart you mentioned forever ago. The game just assumes you're going to get beat up. But... So it looks like our last item in the water temple is in either the river or the dragon at the end. There it is. There's our little butter knife. We have everything we need to beat the seed. We're just going to go be a little kid and go through the order Joe mentioned earlier of stabbing a spider. I mean, we've already swam in a toilet. We just need to poke a spider and then cook a pig. DareDevin's headed back into the fire temple, which...
is there really isn't a great way back. Like Lost Woods is playing Minuet. There's no on at Childs for Kokiri. It's a little frustrating.
Which sometimes this is what a randomizer can happen. It just comes down to like, you just got to find the one little thing, and you can do all you can to increase your odds of that. But when we have runners of this caliber, just that little thing is all it takes sometimes. As I think, if obviously you got your favorites in this tournament, but if you told me anybody in this tournament took out anybody else, I'd say, I could see that. I see that. That makes sense.
Any given race. Yep.
Yeah. Like, especially when you got these best of ones, anything's possible. So, since we
doing fire instead of finishing up GC, I don't understand. This feels bad. This feels really bad.
Yeah, although it's also one of those things where if you do feel behind, you just gotta make a play sometimes. You just, if you feel you're a little behind, you're like, all right, my opponent probably did all against Castle, so I gotta go look somewhere else.
There's a game going on right now that neither finish is probably running through. Like, Zoopal probably feels that Devin is right in Ganondorf Castle already.
Both of them are just like in the corner of their eye, just waiting to see, like, oh, the other runners finished their race with the time of blah blah blah, and just getting ready for it. But until you see that dot done, you're gonna keep going. As Zoopal is gonna make his way through. We don't have enough magic for another Din's Fire.
Okay, this is an easy setup for.
Just grabbing that one. The game wants you to grab the other one farther away, but
it takes time.
It takes
See if
a
he
while.
gets the quick shields.
He's
doing it the slow way.
You say slow, but it's still pretty fast to me. But no, the quick shield strat is insane.
Shield just feels so good when you get it.
You're rolling. You're on cloud 9 if you get that. Man, that is true. We haven't seen Magic 2 yet. It could be.
Goma. That's possible.
Yeah.
Honestly, where else could it be?
We've
River or Deep Fire at this point. Every other check has been done.
Yeah, I think Zoopal got all the checks out of at least all the non-keys, but I guess it could be farther since Deku Tree is like our one dungeon we didn't full clear at this point. I think we left a couple things.
It could have magic.
I think we left a couple checks in spirit that we could just pass by since we were in no mode then. Goma gives you a shield. All right.
Up like a wood. Okay.
Just in case you lost it in there, you don't want to walk out of the Deku Tree without a shield. Do you know how embarrassing that would be? If Mido was like, hey, I said you needed a shield to get in here. Like, where is it? Like, you gotta explain it.
Outing in his house right now.
Yeah, you gotta talk about how you stole the light arrows out of his house. I'm sure.
I forgot about that.
I'm sure he spent a lot on those. And I don't know. I wouldn't go back. I'd just never go back to Kokiri Forest. right? Like, sorry, like, yeah, you need those, but it's still theft. Like, you could at least ask. As we are on our way to the pig's den, pig's pen, whatever you want to call it, Ganon's castle. Grabbing the boss key. Game says, "Is that 6 medallions I see? Go ahead and finish it off."
6 medallions, 3 stones, all dungeons done. And this was, in fact, a World Traveler seed. We needed to do every dungeon, as well as every mini semi-dungeon on top of it. It's been quite a ride.
And some items just out of the way, like that mirror shield. This, the fact that we're still doing this before 4 hours is, like, insane to me. Like, the fact that you get a seed like this, and these players can still just pick it apart. It's wonderful.
Seed can sub 4. This just goes to prove it. Last World Traveler I had was also sub 4, so where that was record setting. Wait, no, that was I wasn't the record setting one, but it was another World Traveler.
Gosh. It's been a ride. As we're making our way up, we are going to see some fun Ganon strats and Ganondorf. These players are pretty quick with it. As I am happy that the go-to play is to use that bottle when playing tennis, although it's not really much of a tennis game when you just hit him in the face with the tennis ball real quick.
Yeah, the bottle strats are really, really good. Shout out to referencing Link to the Past with that viability.
I love the little, I think a lot of the Zeldas have a little something you can do to Ganon, right? Or a little something out of the way, right? Link to the Past has that bug net. I want to say Twilight Princess is something you can do in the gameplay.
You can pull out the fishing rod during the Ganon fight, and he just stands there staring at it.
Why not, right?
He doesn't know how to react. Like,
I
the new sword that banishes the darkness? Nope. It's a fishing rod.
Yeah, I'd take a second and be like, oh, okay. Are we just, like, he waits. He's like, are we actually just going on a nice little fishing trip? Are we just going to leave Hyrule together? That's the real canon ending, is Ganondorf and Link run off into the sunset together to go fish. But we're in the Ganondorf fight for Zoopal. Navi, useless this fight. I know we were relying on Navi a lot, which I guess we talk a lot of crap, but you know, being able to lock on is pretty good. I'll give her that. So we are going to store that jump slash damage. We got our bottle out. We got our light arrows. As we are standing back for now, are we going to jump onto that pillar? There we go. By reflecting that little tennis ball closer to Ganon, he will never be able to volley that back. So you're guaranteed to get him as we get the one cycle. And what's that?
And unlike the Master Sword, the bottle will always send it straight back at him. It won't play with the angle and send off in a weird direction. Yes, you can reflect with the bottle.
We do have double magic on DareDevin's screen. So we have gotten we have gotten it all, folks. At least between
magic and foolish stone fire. Oh boy.
So Ganondorf, or the Ganon fight, a little different than a lot of other enemies in the game. Ganon himself takes bonus damage from the Master Sword. Everything else does 1 damage to him. Master Sword does its regular damage, I believe.
Correct.
So by jump attacking with the Master Sword, we can save that 4 damage crouch stab against him and stab him with the hammer. Which doesn't sound like it should do much, stabbing somebody with a hammer, but the pig doesn't like it. Has 3 stabs. Will get us our sword back here. So that's 2. Oh, taking a hit. Is this? Oh, I'm just. Yeah. All right. There's
He's fine.
There's 0 chance. There is a point in these seeds where the chance of our runners dying very low. It'll happen from time to time.
Not just Deku Seed doing as much damage. Deku Nuts deal 1 damage to Ganon.
Oh, right.
For some reason, that is just so bizarrely coded in this game, even Deku Nuts deal 1 damage to Ganon.
Same amount as a Bigoron sword. It's great. But we are closing it up here, folks, with Zelda giving Ganon a big ol' blast to the face, powering up the Master Sword. Get your GGs ready for Zoopal, who, I may have started this a little too early. I didn't line it up perfectly, so I'm just buying myself a little more time as he powers up his sword, as he goes in to deliver the last blow with a time of 3 hours, 34 minutes, and a handful of seconds.
GG's.
GG.
Alright, we're going to switch over to interview scene. And then we're going to get Evan in for an again. Unfortunately, Zoopal will not be joining us. It is about 1 in the morning currently for Zoopal, a Frenchman. And Zoopal has elected that he doesn't want to interview at 1 in the morning, which is entirely understandable. So
I completely understand. Congratulations to Zoopal with his.
GG's to Zoopal.
GG's to Zoopal.
And I'm going to go make sure Devin is back from taking a quick break. This was on a 15-minute delay, so.
All right. Well,
So he decided he chose to take a quick break, probably get some drink, go to the restroom, and then.
Oh yeah, I just want to walk around a little bit after knocking this one out. So Joe, what's been a big takeaway from this seed? What have we learned? What have we learned today about season?
That toilet might actually have an item eventually. Let's see, what else could you really learn? That Season 4 likes to world travel, because this is 2 comms in a row that I've done that have been world travel seeds. It's just glorious.
Yeah. Alright, Devin is ready for interview, so I'll tune him in.
All right.
And apparently always go where songs are not playing.
Hi, Devin. How are you feeling?
I don't know. Not the best, but also not the worst. I'm just glad it's over. Like,
I'm so sorry, man. It's so bad to I know that this type of interview always feels bad.
No, it's fine. This is fine. I mean, I didn't have the most ambitions when I started this anyway, because I was quite happy with how far I got so far. So, yeah, I'm not sad or anything. I'm just happy that this race is over, because this seed was fucking awful. I know that I played way too aggressively, because I knew that in terms of execution, Zoopal would have the upper hand. So I bait from a lot of places where it didn't really make sense. Like Lost Woods, for example, baiting before getting the Iron Boots. That was fucking stupid. Sorry for the F-bomb.
Okay, don't worry. We've dropped a few with this stream as well.
Okay.
Listen, if you just had to do this for like 3.5 hours, you can do whatever you want. As far as I'm
We're not going to judge.
Oh yeah, then I was like, if I was done with Ganon's castle, and then like with Light Trial, got Hammer and Dins, and was like, okay, let's just do progression and like just try to find the scale along the way, because at that point I already had figured out what was happening, that you needed Song of Time that was Spirit Temple locked to get into Toilet to get the butter knife, and the Mirror Shield was on lake diving,
right.
So
Which you had that first, so you knew you needed to fail.
lake was so hard to get to.
It was so bad.
Oh my god, it was so hard to get to. Like, this was one of those seeds where like it feels like there's like seeds where either South Hyrule is off limits or North Hyrule is off limits, and this was the South
Hyrule
one.
was off limits too. Like, you had to Requiem was so far locked that you had to go there first.
Yeah.
By foot, but just so you know, Zoopal actually did make the same decision you did with clearing light and then getting out. He just went back.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that same. He went immediately to Shadow after that. So that wasn't a terrible decision. It just...
Yeah, that was the correct play, but not returning sooner was dumb. But at that point, I figured, like, Zoopal would have probably been done by now. Like, we were, like, way over 3 hours already. Like, there's no way it's a Ganon's castle. Zoopal would have finished by now. So, yeah, that's why I did Fire, because that was the next most checkdowns location after the rest of Ganon's castle, which is fucking stupid.
I think all of your calls were... You made a lot of great calls.
Yeah, but like they didn't really all pay off too much. Like
right, you can only play the odds, right?
Yeah.
That's,
and I feel like this was not my usual play style. Like I played way too risky at a lot of times, but I felt behind like a lot of time. Like
what did you think?
One thing, I have to admit that I stopped having fun at around the 2 hour mark because all the way of the heroes were like either you like get. Creator Wave the hero for a Zora tunic or Saria song. Come on, that's not all, right?
And then you get the hero. Oh my god!
Then I got the hammer. And I went for the fairy, and there was nothing. And Saria's didn't unlock anything else either. So it was the Zora tunic for key logic because strength 3 was locked behind 5 keys in water. Right. And then GTG Wave the hero. I went in twice. And didn't get anything out of it, so it had to be Toilet. And like so with Song of Time being literally the last song in the game to get, that was so awful.
I have to mention the last Way of the Hero, Deathbound Trail, being a lens so that you can get across.
Oh yeah,
Song of Storms.
Right? That was the only thing up there. Oh my god.
But what did you think?
Horrible Way of the Heroes.
Early in the seed, it seemed a little conflicted about what kind of seed we were going to be looking at when we got the early Zelda's Lullaby hint, but then also finding pretty much what we thought was looking great at the start with a bunch of items in market. Right? We got a bombs, we got a hook shot. Well,
bombs,
turns out one shot, bow.
The market was stacked. Like it was like all of the items were spread out in 3 locations basically. And you had to go go to these locations and then win, basically.
Which is a mess that you still did an amazing job overall in this race. I'd say it's been. You and Zoopal put on a show for us. I'll say I've loved it at least from a spectator's perspective.
I'm happy that at least some people enjoyed this. I mean, I was doing fine. I was getting really hyped when I got my very first 48 on Dampé. That has never happened before. I was really happy with that.
I didn't comment on that. I should have. That was really
happy with that.
Yeah.
Even that feels good.
Then I got bodied by a Phantom Ganon. I was so tilted, dude. That crazy man he just can't leave me alone, dude.
Oh, we've been that when he's just not playing nice and staying far away.
I almost died again. Like last bracket match, it was basically the same thing. I was down to 1 heart and then barely managed to kill him because like, why not? I never have trouble with this boss. But for some reason, in tournament matches, it's rough. It's rough.
So what is next for DareDevin? Are we going to be seeing you again? And potentially next season. What's on your little
plan? My plan is first to fix my hand, basically, to be able to put on a grind, because like I don't have, like, compared to most of the top 32 runners, I don't have the physical resources to put into this game. Like I can't play like 2 seeds a week maybe.
Wow,
So,
and to still be doing as much as you've done is really impressive.
So once I've healed, which I expect to be in like the next 6 months maybe, then I would definitely want to come back for the next season, and I think I might just have a shot. But then again, there will be a lot of very good players around. Everyone will just have improved so much.
Well, if this isn't even your final form, I think everybody better watch out. That's all
I'm excited, and I hope that you aren't a stranger for the rest of the bracket. I would love to have you on comms.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Now that I'm like I had to turn down so many opportunities to commentate. Like, my Discord was basically burning hot for getting 1 million pings for commentary on 3 different channels. Like, there's so much stuff going on.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
now
just
that
nonstop lately.
Yeah, now that the pressure's gone, I can just focus on the other fun stuff regarding this game. So that's going to be cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, which is me as well.
We would love to have you in the comms booth, Devin. GG's.
So
Any
I can
work to
sit
go
on,
around at this
so I
point.
can finally sit on the other end of this garbage.
Well, as somebody, like, to give you an idea of my, like, I am nowhere near, I think I did the qualifiers. I think I finished like 150th or something, right? I've been doing it for too long, so like, it's a lot nicer commentating than actually playing. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
When you get to
that
look
really-
back up here and be like,
that really-
oh, here's what they're doing. I'm whatever. And
Nah, this
Figuring
really
out what
just
you're
depends on the
thinking
speed.
is way easier than thinking it ourselves.
Oh yeah, I would like to shout out someone saying something in the chat real quick. Xpus said that we basically got no hints, and I actually want to agree with that.
yeah,
Like-
that's a good point.
Your hints were not
Like, playing without
easy.
hints, like, the entire scene was basically a giant gamble.
Like the Gerudo Training Grounds one was really just like baiting you over, like just holding it right
Yeah.
above your head, like, hey, do you want this item? Oh, come back again with another thing. Oh, no, not yet. Come back later. Maybe.
Yeah.
Here's a lens. I'm sure you want this. The lens is just a signpost. That's all it is. It's so bad. It might have just been like, you might as well have said Way the Hero in Colossus at that point.
That has been the theme of my seeds, though. This isn't the first Tunic Way of the Hero I've got.
Zora Tunic Way of the Hero is like,
It's,
it's such an odd one, but like this time it happened.
Especially with 2 wallets in Logic, too. That was so...
I mean, no, the other wallet was locked by Zora Tunic because it was locked by Dins, because it was on fire, so it was locked by Strength 3.
Oh, it was
which was
locked by
locked by
Strength 3, you're
Yeah,
right.
that's
Okay.
correct.
And that's why we need you up here in comms with us.
Making me look bad now at the end of everything.
Because I just say things and then I will like look at the chat and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna like
Yeah,
say
but-
the opposite next time because that was wrong.
Yeah, but like that's like I feel like a lot of what I learned about this game actually came from doing commentary, because exactly like before situations like these where you think you figured it out, then you say something smart, and then turns out it's not that smart at all. So you just learn from that by doing that over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And then I feel when you're actually playing, it's so you might even know what you're doing at the
It's
time
so
is
much
the wrong
different.
play, but you're like, whatever, I'm still gonna do it. I still got to do it, right? It's an interesting experience on both ends. Sure.
Yes, very true.
Do you have any other comments, or anybody else have any questions in the chat as well? If we have,
Well, I don't have anything else to add, like except for this was horrible, but I said this like a million times already. But GG's to Zoopal. This was so rough. Like I was like at around 3 hours, I was like, dude, please just finish so this can be done. I just didn't want to play anymore. So
we're uncertain if when you looked at the mirror shield from our end, we weren't sure if it was a mirror shield or a highly ancient. By we, I mean I wasn't sure.
Oh,
Some people chat
yeah.
were like, it's a mirror shield. I was like,
funny thing about that. So I played a seed the other day, I think yesterday or the day before, where I had a mirror shield in that exact same position as well. And I went and I had to, because I have a white mirror shield, I had to swim to the center of the lake basically to see what it was exactly.
oh my god.
But because of that, I actually knew what it looked like. So I was like, this time I was certain it was a mirror shield immediately.
Oh man, yeah.
That was quite lucky.
Yeah, there was a bit of a conspiracy. We were a little conflicted if it was a real mirror shield or not a real mirror
No,
shield.
it was the real deal.
But, it's a great race. Well, from our point of view. Thanks for suffering for it.
Yeah, GG's. Unfortunately, this is out of the tournament for you, Devin, but you had a good run through qualifiers, and you did, and GG's to you on both your races in the brackets. We hope to see you back next season, and in the meantime,
Definitely.
we hope to see you in the comms booth.
That also definitely.
So, let's see. Looking ahead, Zoopal moves on to Losers Bracket Round 2. He will be facing off against the loser of the match between Felix and Holy Sparks. So that'll be a good match that is scheduled for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will have Felix versus Sparks playing against each other on ZSR2, and that will determine who Zoopal's next opponent will be. Speaking of the schedule, we have plenty of things going on. Currently, over on ZeldaSpeedRuns 2, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard NA Weekly. That is, so we will be going over to rate them shortly. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern here on this channel, we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer Weekly race. You'll be seeing me again here. Then tomorrow, we have a very busy schedule. We have at 7 a.m. Eastern, we have the Skyward Sword Randomizer 2021 Winter Tournament Seeding Race number 4 on ZSR. At 9 a.m. Eastern, it's 3 p.m. CET, 2 p.m. UTC, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard EU Weekly, that'll be on ZSR 3. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 4 Winners Bracket Round 2 between FMC Gun and Curiosa on And in Curiosa, at 11 a.m. Eastern, we have another match, Winners Bracket Round 2 between Dylan Evil and Bukane. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow, we have the Ocarina of Time Vanilla Game Championship Series Season 3 Challenge 10 on ZSR2. And we have Losers Bracket Round 1 between Wooden Barrel and One Shot. At 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minish Cap Randomizer Weekly Race at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina Randomizer Random Settings League Winners Bracket Finals between What Norco and What the Hells. Here on ZSR with Felix and Sparks wrapping up the night for us. We certainly have a lot going on, so give us all a follow here at Zelda Speedruns. We have here the Zelda Speedruns main channel. We will be rating Zelda Speedruns 2 shortly, and we also have Zelda Speedruns 3_3 and Zelda Speedruns _4. If you want even more Zelda action, we also have the Challenge Cup ongoing for the runners who qualified as 33rd through 96th. We currently have our group stages ongoing, so you can find out more in the Discord and check out the Silver Gauntlets. You can learn more about OTR, and help out with volunteering too by going to our Discord as well, the main OTR Discord. So check that out. Shoutouts here to both of our runners today. DareDevinX and Zoopal putting up a very good show here with a rather horrible seed. And as to our two commentators, Joe Dicebean and Dojos, as well as to our two trackers, Chaos and Winnie Demon. And thank you all in chat for watching. I will also have to say thank you to Din for rolling this seed and helping me out when I had a fire alarm.
And I was happy I dodged the star seed. I regret my words.
Yeah. I will say, though, truly thanks to Din for getting it since I had a fire alarm at the first time. Alright, we'll also shout out one last time that we currently have a community challenge ongoing, where if everyone in the community contributes 397,000 channel points, we will get a screen boost to promote our visibility on Twitch. That started about an hour and a half ago when we're already 176,000 points on our way to our goal, so thank you all in chat for contributing. That'll be it. Okay, we just got 2,000 more. Thank you,
No problem.
Yeah, alright. That will be it for us tonight. Thank you all for watching here. We're gonna go say hi to the weekly. Let's see. Are George seeds any better than Din seeds?
We already know the answer to
I
that.
doubt it.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
So long.